We are so back again. Bet you didn't expect 2 streams this week. Granted, I think nobody did. But we probably won't be here forever. Just for a little bit. Just for a little bit. Alright, this one's actually royalty free. Let's see if that's the case. I tried doing this on Twitch, but I don't know, I'm impatient. Screw it, whatever. Never mind, go away. Just, no, go away. Whatever. Not important. You don't need to know what I was worrying about. It was nothing, actually. You know, let's do what we used to do. Boot up the old solitaire. Forgetting it does that. Solitaire. Oh man, I have to like zoom in. Hold on. Gotta remember to fix this later. Or whatever. It can just stay zoomed like that. Or, hold on. Why is there no revert to original button? Whatever, just stay like that. Or wait, hold on. Nope, that's snipping tool. I did not want to do that. No snipping tool. But, yeah. We're just doing it how we used to. Solitaire and a dream. I ain't even paying attention to what's being thrown around. Hold on. Keeps picking up the clicks. Don't want to do that. It's gonna do it no matter what, unfortunately. That's just how that goes. This is how the story goes. I'm singing that out of key because I don't want to potentially get copyrighted. Probably won't be a super long stream, but we'll do what we need to do, which, don't ask me what that is, but we'll do what we need to do and bounce. Great, now I'm too focused on making sure that this is all like centered again. Hold on, I need light on there. Whatever, it's good enough. What's the zoom button? Ah, right. Control plus. There we go. That's much better. Now I can see better as well. I can see my failures in 4K. Boom, boom. What am I missing here? I don't know. I think I messed up early on. Should have moved this at some point. We do what it do. Hold on. Check something real quick. Over here scratching my shit. Alright, cool. Anyway. Wrong button. Wrong button again. I'd be kind of angry if this gets me copyrighted again, but it's a stream, so I'm not really too fussed about that. Ooh. Just got a massive headache for no reason. Unprovoked headache. Oh god, don't do that. I just did I made the video of me listening to rumbling, and then I just recorded the video of me listening to Under the Tree, so that song is kind of stuck in my head. Would have liked to have listened to that song for a stream, but it is what it is, I guess. Dope, we did it. Do I have to by hand do everything still? Yeah, there we go. Auto does it. This was a mistake starting a stream this late, because this is normally when I start kind of winding down. But, Eto bleh. If even one person joins and starts a conversation, it would be nice. Keep me awake. So otherwise, I'd just be talking into the void. And, yeah. I didn't even do, like, audio checks. I don't even know if I'm, like, coming through properly. Yeah, we're good. I haven't gone completely stir crazy, only slightly. I'm going slightly mad. There we go, that's a big one. People be like, you didn't tell me that you were streaming. Bro, we're not close like that, dog. That ain't how that works. I put out notifications for a reason. It's not my fault you don't turn them on. Oh, whoa. Oh, oh. That was kind of interesting, not gonna lie. Kinda sexy. Who wants to get touched? And now we're in a tight spot. Not completely, though. We got our red 9. Boom, bop, 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 boom, pow. We've done it. Yeah. It's the simple things that make me the most happy. Sorry if the clicks are coming through. My mouse is like right behind my microphone. Should have probably thought about that. But eto bleu, as they say. Eto bleu. We recently crossed over 9K subs as well. It's nothing to be shy about. And I'd say give it a couple more weeks. We'll probably be knocking on the door at 10K. Wild stuff, man. Kind of just taking it for granted it's happening so fast. But that is time for you. Don't stop for nobody. One of these days I had to just do an editing stream just so I can get work done, like, as I stream, but depends on what I'm editing, because that'll not be good for the copyright potentially, because I do reactions to things. That'd be not good to show on stream. Got a 5er. 6. That doesn't help a whole lot. What's up, Ruben? Yours is a familiar name. Bro's been around for a while. I think since like the ReZero days, right? I say that like that was a long time ago. It was like, it was coming up in a while. ReZero was like kind of April-ish around last year. It's been a while. But feels like a lifetime ago, just how much has changed. Much the content's changed, even though not really a whole lot's changed. It's about the same. But, you know, we've just gotten better. If I do say so myself. Yeah, Higurashi as well. It's fun having people like that who, you know, because like each series sort of brings in like newer people. So it's like those kind of become like household names, and then like, you know, I'll do a different series. Like you popped up for Higurashi as well. It's just like, oh yeah, hey. It's fun, like, you know, on the different series I do, just like people like, oh yeah, I like that show. And they come back around to, like, you know, it's like when I did ReZero, and then, you know, there's a break for a long time, then season 3 started, and like those people started commenting again. It's like, ah, nice to see that people stick around. Sorry if I'm a little low on energy for today. It's, again, I'm doing this later than I normally would. You know, I normally kind of stream, like, more towards, like, the middle of the day, sort of. This is later at night for me, but brings people together. That is the point. That is why I do what I do. It's not all about just this, like, you know, yelling back and forth on who's right, who's wrong about everything. It's just a community. Let's all just talk about what we like, what we don't like. And that's what I'm trying to cultivate. And, I'd say it's been pretty good so far. These last couple of years I've been doing that. Mainly in the last year it's been really good, just because we've been really snowballing with views and people coming in. Every day is a new perspective, a new person. So, yeah. Life's crazy. Life could be a dream. Da-booby-da-ba-dooby. Sorry if there's a bit of stream delay. I do tend to have that sometimes. I'd say we're probably behind by a couple seconds, but stuff I gotta work on, you know. Still an amateur with a lot of things, especially with streaming. Yeah. I mean, there's some interesting things on the horizon, especially some things I've recorded today. And plus there's a lot of videos that I've already recorded that are coming out. Yeah. It's kind of rough, but obviously Terran Resonance just finished on the channel, which I recorded that a long time ago. I mean, not a long time ago. It's like we're about like a good couple weeks ahead. which is what I like to do. Which, yeah, Terran Resonance finished. Attack on Titan Junior High is gonna be coming to an end soon. With the videos. I mean, I already finished it on Patreon, but then that means Overlord Season 1 is gonna start. And unfortunately, that's gonna be short-lived, because I did not end up finishing that show, and I never will. Because that show didn't really do it for me. But the videos will still come out, obviously. Started watching Transformers Prime, rewatching, since that was one of my favorite shows growing up, and still is. That's a show I probably won't do super consistently. I mean, it depends on how it performs. But, you know, if it does well, then I'll do more videos of it, but I've mainly just done, like, the first, like, 5-ish episodes, and I'll come back to it here and there. But other than that, though, the show I'm currently starting to do videos on is one that I've kind of been dreading doing, but it's one that I knew I had to do eventually. It's going to end up being my longest series I've ever done, even longer than Attack on Titan. Which is probably going to take the bulk of my focus for a good chunk of this year. I did do Mushoku Tensei, yes. First 2 seasons. I did that right after I did ReZero, just because I was on, like, that isekai high, I guess. I really loved Mushoku Tensei. Yeah, sad with Overlord. I mean, it's not that I hated it. It's just I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I just kept feeling like for the whole first season that I was waiting for something to happen. And, like, concept-wise, I liked it so far. I like the idea of just, like, this guy pretty much being isekai'd into the video game that he played, but then, like, that also gets isekai. He's, like, double isekai'd, basically. But you know, it was just mainly doing the videos on it. I just felt like there wasn't enough really there for me to warrant doing like 40 episodes or however long it currently is. It's like I did the first season and that was enough. I'll finish it in my own time, but yeah. A lot of that stuff comes down to, because I've dropped series for videos in the past. It's like I still haven't finished Delicious in Dungeon, never finished Solo Leveling, never finished Psychopaths, but it's not necessarily against the shows themselves. It's just like for the videos, I didn't feel like I was really putting a whole lot into them. Because I mean, that's fair. I mean, with ReZero and Mushoku, I mean, to be fair, I had the benefit of watching those two shows, like, without really having watched. Because to be fair, going to Overlord, it's like, I've seen ReZero, I've seen Mushoku Tensei, I've seen a lot of these other isekais. I've seen, like, Reincarnated as a Slime. But, like, those two shows for me just sort of showed what the isekai genre was capable of. And, I don't know, those just felt like such grounded and real stories, despite them being in a fantasy setting. Whereas with Overlord, at least with the first season of it, it just felt too power fantasy like, just in the sense that the main character is literally a god in this world, and same with the characters around him. And I mean, I say it in the videos when those eventually come out, it's just a lot of glazing for, like, the main character in a lot of scenes. It's like, I feel like there's so many dialogue scenes dedicated to just the NPCs being like, oh my god, Ain-sama, you're such a amazing deity and all this, and I just got so tired of that. I'm just like, yeah, bro, I get it, he's cool, but I don't know, I just needed more than that. Whereas, with ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, it's like the characters start basically from nothing, and you see them grow, Like, you can have a good story with a character being OP from the get-go. That's a lot of other isekais as well, but, I mean, it's not that it's not for me. I mean, I like the genre. I mean, just like with ReZero Mushoku Tensei, it's like I like more of the stories where they start from nothing and they build up. Like same with Reincarnated as a Slime as well. It's like I liked seeing that, you know, even though Slime wasn't necessarily one of my favorites, but I liked seeing the character just basically spawn into this new world and then build like a whole civilization, basically. It's just Overlord so far. Again, like I plan on watching more of it. It's just as it was for the first season, there wasn't really anything that really grounded me to the characters. But I at least have enough interest in the world and just the story, I guess, to continue watching it. It's just for videos, I didn't really care much to continue like working with and spending my time with it in that regard. But you know, I don't want to flat out just say that I thought it was bad or boring or anything like that. I mean, saying it's boring isn't really a good criticism anyway, but just because I still feel like it's too soon to fully judge it, even though it's been 13 episodes that I've watched it so far. Excuse me. But I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I might rewatch the first season. Like now that I'm not focused on doing videos on it, I can like properly, you know, just sort of take in more details. I might rewatch it, and then, or at the very least, just kind of skim rewatch it, and then keep going, just so that I can, I guess, better appreciate it that way. But in terms of the videos for it, it'll be the first season, and then there won't be any more after that. But I'll make a follow-up video at some point whenever I'm fully caught up with that. But there's a lot of other stuff on the plate currently. But I'll be announcing what my biggest series is going to be, which is what I currently started. Once I finish editing the first 3 parts of that and they're on Patreon, that's when it'll be announced. So you can speculate all you want, but I won't tell you if you're right. But I mean, those episodes on YouTube won't be coming out for at least till like mid-March, I think, just because there's a lot of other stuff coming out. I would have liked to have covered some more week-to-week stuff this season, but I mean, ReZero, you know, we have that week-to-week right now. I heard that like the Sakamoto Days show is pretty good, which I don't know. The Index, I have been recommended that, and honestly, it's in my I've considered it for doing a reaction series for. The only thing is just like it's multiple like different series, kind of like Monogatari from what I've heard. It's like both of those are shows that I have considered for doing reactions. I'll probably put it on a poll at some point, Index. But and it's something I've taken a passive interest in. I haven't watched it yet though. Undo that. The scene that got me interested in it. Yeah, the scene that got me interested in it because I saw like there's like a fight scene in one of the shows where like a girl shoves a grenade in another girl's mouth and she explodes, and I was like, that looks cool. I'll watch that eventually. No spoilers on that. I don't want to know the context until I get it, but yeah. I mean, in terms of doing like reaction series, you know, it's like I want there to be like breathers in between like big series that I do, because you know AOT was like the biggest one that I had been building towards for a long time, and of course I finally did it, and now it seems like yesterday when I finished it, and now it's gone. But now like the next big one I'm gonna do, it's well over 100 episodes, and it's gonna probably take good several months, because AOT took me about 3-ish months to like watch and edit the videos and do all that. Whereas this one is probably, which this one's about double the length, a little bit less. So it's probably going to take me about maybe half of this year to fully do, but I want to do it, and I'm committed to it. And so far, the first 3 episodes that I've watched of it, I really enjoy it. So that is that is sort of the thing with doing these series, is like, you know, if I don't know anything about them, I kind of have to have that interest in it already. Whereas when I went into something like Overlord, I didn't know really anything about it other than like the base concept. So as I kept watching, I kept waiting. So like I what I'm trying to say is I need something to sort of hook me before I watch it, at least for doing a series on it. If I'm doing it in my own time, it's just like, you know, I'm already interested. But, you know, that's where you get the hit or misses, really, with a lot of shows that I've done. Thankfully, more hits than misses, but, you know. There's been a fair amount of shows that I have not finished, which, you know, is sad, but, you know, I always say the thing in them. It's just like, I'd rather dedicate my time and effort into other things. Man, yeah, someone told me about it. In one of the Higurashi things. It might have been you, I don't know, but is there an anime for it? At least what I've looked up here, it's Umineko When They Cry, so it quite literally is the spiritual successor. I don't know. I'm weird when it comes to like coming back to a series I've already finished. Like, because with Higurashi, like, I kind of feel like I did kind of speed like finishing that series. Like, I know there was more like the OVA stuff that I still need to watch. I don't really plan on obviously watching any other like seasons of the show that are after Higurashi Kai, just because for me where Kai ends, it's like that's the end. I like it. I don't really want to see more, but with but I'm just weird when it coming back. Like I want to though. Honestly, I'll probably be down to do those like OVAs that fill in gaps afterward at some point. It's infamously horrible. Okay. I don't think I'll be looking into it then. But I appreciate the recommendation. I dropped my fidget. I mean, but what I watched at Higurashi was really good, you know? I'll be open and honest though. I definitely enjoyed the first half of Higurashi more than the second half. Just, I don't know, I was more of a fan of like the kind of brutal, grotesque horror side of it rather than the side that gave the answers. I mean, I liked the answers, but there's a manga. Okay, I'll add the manga to the list then. Cause yeah, I mean, see, that's my thing. I still have yet to like read any sort of novel or anything. Like I know there's visual novels, which those are a commitment in their own right, but like what's the term? I'm blanking. Light novel. That's the term. I've yet to ever really read a light novel for a show that I've liked. You know, just because I don't know. I'm a monkey brain. I need pictures. I'm a visual man. But I get that that's the whole point of reading, is so you can paint the picture in your mind, but I don't know. I need with anime and that kind of stuff specifically, I need stuff to go with it, but Ugh. But yeah. Higurashi was definitely a surprise. That was a series I had never really planned on reacting to, but like I had watched the first couple episodes of it and I was like, let me pause. This is content. And it did. It's just so funny how fast it happened as well, because I made a poll for it and thankfully it won. And that's the one I kind of wanted to win. Because I was like, because I had already started watching. I was like, oh, I want to see more. And yeah, and it came and went. Same with Darling in the Franxx as well. That one. Darling in the Franxx was a treat as well. Despite, you know, its controversial middle point, but... and its ending, I guess, but I liked it for what it was. It was far from the worst thing I've ever seen. And hell, it made me kind of squeak a tear at its ending. But I guess a lot of that had to do with how it reminded me of Attack on Titan's ending, but you know, it still worked. It just works. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a hooking series, to say the least. I don't know. Nowadays, I've become much more of a fan of shows and just media in general, where it's just like, we're just gonna tell like a shorter, it could be a little bit longer, but just like, we're gonna tell a story with an end goal in mind, and not just, we're gonna do this indefinitely and then just have an ending eventually, maybe. You know, don't... It's like, I want to see the end of something. I want it... All good things must come to an end. But, you know, another side of that saying is just like, all good things probably should end at some point, because otherwise, how do you know it's good anymore? There's some philosophical saying somewhere in there that I'm trying to get at. But, yeah. Yeah, there's a good, like, healthy medium with that. It's like not super long where it feels like a long commitment, but not too short where it feels super rushed by the end. That's why I think anime should do more like 24 episode well, for shows that deserve it, but you know, especially with shows that have really popular manga, you know, it's like, you know, stuff like Kaiju Number 8, Solo Leveling, it's like shows that they know are going to be popular, so it's like they just give you enough to make you have an interest to go and read the original source material, and it's like, well, it's not enough. But yeah, but I am coming back to that. I have more of an appreciation for shorter shows that hook you enough, because I mean, you know, a lot of anime do that, where, you know, 12 to 13 episodes and it's done and it's good. Some of my favorite romance stuff is stuff that's that short, because it shouldn't be that much longer. But I don't know. You know, it's a divide. It shows that I always feel like should be longer aren't, and shows that I wish were shorter aren't. Never been interested in trying Naruto. Yeah, I mean, sweeter, wholesome content. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've said in some videos that, yeah, I mean, I for the longest time, I'd say I really love romance anime. I would say that's where I find more consistently that I'm satisfied, but I don't know, I have to find like a happy middle ground with that. It comes to mind, The Dangers in My Heart is actually one of my favorite romance anime of all time, and is currently one of my favorite romance manga. I'm happy that you bring that up. That's the thing with romance stuff, though, is like I would love to do more of that. It's just I have to find the right shows, and a lot of the shows I have watched already. Like, I'm honestly kind of sad that I have already watched Fruits Basket, because Fruits Basket is my personal favorite romance anime and one of my favorite anime of all time. And honestly, looking back on it, I would have loved to have done a series for it. Just because that series made me into such a blubbery and emotional mess by the end. And at the time, I was just like, no one needs to see that from me. But, you know, looking back on it, it's like, that would have been some good content. But Dangers in My Heart kind of did that for me as well, especially when I read the manga. But I don't know. Yeah, it is one of my favorites. I mean, that's speaking of stuff that goes really long, I'm still waiting for that manga to end. I mean, I don't want it to end, but at the same time, it's like, I would like to live to see it end eventually. But, I don't know. To answer your question about reacting to more wholesome things, I mean, again, I have to just find the right show, but it's kind of hard with that kind of stuff, because I mean, with romance anime and stuff, it's like you don't really know how good it is until you're like well into it. I feel like once you're really attached to the characters, once you're, you know, attached to the romance half of it, you know, it's harder. I mean, I recently for Valentine's Day reacted to the movie of I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which, I mean, that was wholesome, without, but also having its darker twist to it. That's just sadly the kind of content I do at this point. It's just like stuff that spawns kind of like those psychological conversations, you know, theorizing. Whereas with romance, though I love it, obviously, there isn't a whole lot to talk about most of the time. It's sort of just like, oh, that's cute, that's sweet. I mean, I did Date Alive, which, I mean, that was me rewatching the show, but that was still funny more than anything. But it had its wholesome moments. But I don't know. It's... I don't know, more. I'd have to get more recommendations for that. I'd have to put out like a thing being like, what would you recommend for me to do more of like a wholesome romance like reaction series, which would be hard because a lot of people probably recommend stuff that I most likely have seen already. But I mean, that's why I'm doing more movies now. It's like I say it's a series, but I've only done 2 so far. You know, I've been watching the Ghibli movies for the first time. Ghibli, however you pronounce it. You know, I've done Spirited Away. I've done Princess Mononoke. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you necessarily would describe those movies as wholesome, but, you know, more family friendly, even though Princess Mononoke is not a movie you should show your children. But I don't know. That's just kind of the sadistic side of me. I'm more for kind of like a gruesome, bloodier story with kind of like the psychological warfare and stuff as well, and psychological questions. Stuff that warrants reaction. Otherwise, if it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. Snafu Origairu, I have also seen. Well, I mean, Origairu is a good example of what I was just talking about how I didn't realize how good it was until I was like halfway through it already. But I mean, Origairu would have been a good one to do as well. I mean, that one was one that didn't necessarily get me... I mean, it got me emotional, definitely, but... I don't know, there wasn't really stuff I was theorizing about. I mean, that one was definitely one that that got me thinking at the very least. It was a different take on romance that I liked. I think in my review that I made of it a long time ago, I called it like the Evangelion of romance. Which, I don't know about that in hindsight, but I definitely want to re-review that show, definitely, though. I definitely didn't do it justice when I did it, like, several years ago at this point. I want to re-review Fruits Basket as well. Just because I've recently re-watched that. God damn, that show is so good. But I don't know. That needs to be a thing I look into. It's just like that kind of stuff. I mean, I mainly just need to look up just like what are some romance anime that are different, I guess. I have seen Steins Gate. Oh man, yeah, that's the thing about like looking back on my life, I guess. It's just like, how did I should have known years ago in my life that I would have become a React YouTuber. Because otherwise I would have put a pause on watching a lot of those shows. Because Steins Gate would have been a good one. I mean, Steins Gate's one, though, where it's just like the first couple episodes of it, it's like you think it's one way, but then you hit that one episode and it's like, oof. Yeah, that would have been something to experience. But, I mean, obviously, like, I made a review of Steins Gate as well. Yeah, I know. You know what? Let me pull up my anime list. We can go through stuff here. I will sort by, yeah, whatever. Sort by score. Cool. I wish Mal had a light mode. I can't see. Ugh. But yeah, just going through. Cowboy Bebop is one I've considered. I mean, obviously I've watched it already, but like rewatching just because it's been. I haven't re-gone through it since I watched it for the first time, and it's still one of my favorites of all time. I mean, I've revisited parts. Monster would have been fun. It would have been hell of a commitment, 74 episodes. But it was one of those ones where it's like I was hooked by like episode 2. So, but it would have been long. Ava would have been interesting as well. I mean, Ava, though, it wouldn't have worked just because the whole reason I watched Ava was because my friends were going to go see the final movie that came out in theaters, and I was like, I haven't seen Ava. And they were like, all right, you have a week to watch all of it, and then we'll go and see the movie, and that's what happened. So I had to like sort of speed run that. But yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, I did a reaction to Akira. Fully Colette would have been a fun one-off show to do. It was only 6 episodes, but that show was crazy. Serial Experiment Lane as well. I would have loved to actually do a series on that. That's something I gotta... I mean, that's something I just have to consider now, considering what I'm doing. You know, because, you know, back then, like, there was a period in my life, especially during quarantine, where I was just like, there's so many iconic anime I haven't seen. I'm just gonna just watch all of them, which is what happened. But now here I am doing react stuff to anime, and it's like, well, I've seen a lot of the classics already. So I really have to sort of pick and choose what I do. But, you know, there's still some that we've had fun doing. Obviously DBZ I grew up on. Oh my god, Black Lagoon would have been awesome to do, especially in the English dub. I would have been laughing non-stop. Yeah, Serial Experiments Lane is trippy as hell. Even, like, I still want to do a review of it. Even though it's been, like, close to maybe 2 years since I first watched it. I'd have to rewatch it again. But it's one of those shows that's just, it's similar to Ava, where it's just, like, there's so much there's so much happening, like it's so much confusing imagery, but it's so cool. I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's just like, what does it mean? And then you get told what it means, and you're still just like, I don't get it. Yeah. Black Lagoon. Yeah, dub is so good for that. It's funny having Black Lagoon and Death Note right next to each other because they have the same dub voice actor for the main character for Rock and Light. Same voice actor. But yeah. That's one of those shows that I want to see more of, but the English dub just wouldn't be the same if they made it again. Yeah. Definitely continue. I mean, it's not that long. It's only 13 episodes, but it's like each episode feels so long just because there's so much happening in it. Death Note would have been fun to do for a first time, but like there was no shot that was happening. That was like Death Note's something I watched years ago. You know, that's something I honestly cherish, seeing reaction series who have like a first time reaction to Death Note. 'Cause it's like those are so few and far between now, I feel like. But it's like you have to get it with people who haven't already seen anime at all. So, yeah. Gurren Lagann would have been fun. That's another good English dub. Clanad, just like Fruits Basket, made me cry like a little bitch. I don't know about doing a reaction series to it though, just because it's like 50 episodes long and not all of it is the most engaging content, but you know, by the end it's worth it because you're ugly crying and the music just, good lord. Bakano was fun. I don't think I needed to react to it. It was a good mystery, though. I've been interesting to theorize about that. Full Metal, yeah. Full Metal would have been really fun to do a series on. Just because, I mean, for a while, that was my number one after I rewatched it. Well, after I watched it and then kept rewatching it. It's still one of my favorites. It's honestly become one of the ones that I keep having to remind my brain about how good it is. Just like, oh yeah, shit. That was really fun. I mean, more than fun, it's like that. Just such an intriguing world. English dub is phenomenal. Great fights, great animation, just... Unmatched, possibly. I mean, there's some good ones, but... Yeah. It's just funny, for so long it was a show, it's just like, yeah, I know Full Metal Alchemist, I'll watch it eventually, and then it's like, it's been like, probably close to 5 years since I watched it for the first time. Or no. Well, kinda. It's been at least 4 years. Oh, man. About the amusement park. Are you talking about Amagi Brilliant Park? Because that's the only one I could think of about an amusement park. Because if so, yes. From Kyoto, yeah, it's, yeah. Amagi Brilliant Park, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see. Yes, there it is. Yeah, I watched this a long time ago. I went through a Kyoto animation. I mean, I love Kyoto. It's one of my favorite animation studios. It's all right. I don't know. I haven't really revisited it a lot. I mean, I think about it every once in a while just because, I mean, it's a beautiful show, but, you know, it's cute. Not really too much with it, I feel like. I hate that I was able to just pull that out of my mind, but that's just how degenerate I am. Shit. But I mean, yeah, Clanad's Kyoto as well. A lot of my favorite ones are Kyoto Animation. Clanad, Violet Evergarden, Haruhi Suzumiya. Well, Haruhi Suzumiya isn't one of my favorites, but you know, it's good. There's another one that I can't think of. Oh yeah, Chunibyo. Chunibyo's good. Do they really need to continue the show? It's, from what I remember, it's just like, yeah, they have an amusement park. I don't know. The scene I keep seeing from it constantly is just the scene where it's all the girls in the swimsuit doing that like promo video. But you know, I think that's all anybody remembers really of that show. Oh man. Sorry, I'm just checking some stuff real quick. I mean, yeah. I get it. Romance always be blue balling, and nothing happens for a while, or just the show never continues. The sad reality. But Fate Zero is, for many years, and still kind of is, one of my favorite. I mean, for many years, it was my number one, my favorite anime, period. But then I watched Attack on Titan. Which, I don't know, give it time. Might fluctuate, but I doubt it. I did do a reaction series to Fate Zero. It wasn't a first-time thing, but it was... you know, I did it at the tail end of 2023. It's kind of what sparked me doing reaction series, really. It's like I did that, and then I just kept doing a bunch of stuff after that, and here we are. But honestly, I'm down to do another Fate Zero reaction series, just because, I don't know, it's a show that it became my favorite, and then I kept watching more stuff, and then I came back to it again, but... Are you doing it in, like, light novel order? Is that why? Which, fair enough if you are. To be fair, that's... Like, I had watched Fate Zero, and then, like, I watched... Someone gave me a guide. It's just like, oh yeah, and then here's the chronological. So I went, like, Deeds, Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Wars, blah, blah, blah. Fate is a really good series that I feel like people don't give enough to, just because how convoluted it is. It's only convoluted... if you keep watching anything after Fate Stay Night. So, which, to be fair, it's already kind of convoluted enough. There's a lot of lore in it, but I mean, if you care enough, the details are there. Pretty much. That's why, like, Fate Zero for me, without the rest of Fate, is one of my favorites ever. Just because Fate Stay Night, for me, I don't really like it that much. Like, maybe I would if I watched it maybe the intended way, which is... watching Fate Stay Night and then Fate Zero, but I don't know. I liked it the other way around, having the prequel and then the sequel. But... or I guess the prequel and then the main story, but... I would be very curious to revisit Fate Zero again, having watched a lot of what has become some of my favorite shows, like Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga, a lot of other stuff as well. Just to see if it truly holds up in my mind still. Is one of my favorites of all time. But Fate, though, is still a phenomenal series, though. I feel like I have my gripes with Fate Stay Night. A lot of those gripes are mainly just because I love Fate Zero so much. But I have to remind myself that Fate Zero was written after Fate Stay Night was already done, so I don't know. I enjoy them for what they are. Dean's Fate Stay Night, though, I don't know about that one. People die if they are killed. I still haven't like done anything with the original light novel or a visual novel, which is funny because it was recently added to Steam. So after like after decades at this point, it's finally on Steam. But I would like to at some point. I don't know if I'd do it for a series, just because I mean the original novel is basically porn. I mean that's just what it is, but it's porn that has like a really good story. To be fair, it's hentai when you actually pay attention to the story. But I mean the original the original Stay Night is just like. I mean, sure. I mean, I'm such a Yuki Kajiura simp because of Fate Zero. So I don't really like, I mean, the music is good. It's just Yuki Kajiura's score in Fate Zero and then Heaven's Feel is some of the best music I've heard in my life. And to be fair, the Unlimited Blade Works Emiya theme is one of my favorite anime soundtracks, period, still. Even though that's by a completely different composer. How much longer we got on this synthwave? Oh, we're only halfway. But I mean, it's, you know, it's the Fate route, which is Saber, the Unlimited Blade Works route, which is Rin, who is my favorite, and the Sakura route, which is Heaven's Feel, which is ultimately what that boils down to. But I like how the anime handles it at the very least. It cuts out all the porn and actually makes a really good action fantasy story. And then Fate Zero is the prequel to it all, so it doesn't have to abide to like the different routes. It's like no matter what, it happens. A lot of renditions, yeah. It's just my personal favorite is the Unlimited Blade Works one. But I do like the Heaven's Feel rendition. I just wish it played more. And then I don't really remember the Fate Stay Night one as well. I do know it plays though. And then I've heard the original light novel version as well. Or visual novel. Ugh. The harem route, yeah. I think that's the Hollow Atraxia, which is like the harem route or whatever that one is. I don't know. I used to be so like aware of the Fate lore. I used to be like Giguk, where I just knew everything. But you know, years have passed, and I cared about other things again. So, you know, I remember the big stuff, but you know, Fate Zero at its core will always be my favorite. I don't know. I just love Rin so much just because I love tsundere. I'm the tsundere simp, as I have said for years at this point. But I don't know. Saber's good though. I wish I would say I wish Ufotable would do the Saber route and just, you know, be gone with Dean's Fate Stay Night, but it's kind of redundant at this point, just because the first several episodes of the Dean's Fate Stay Night are the same in the Unlimited Blade Works for the most part. So it's like a lot of the episodes end up being the same. It's mainly like the second half where things change. And obviously like the romance is different, but although I would argue Rin's check Zero to finish space, fair enough. Although to be fair, if you're gonna do the Ufotable stuff, you should start with Fate Zero because they did Fate Zero first, and then they did Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel. But I don't know. You do whatever you want. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that you should watch it. Like, I'm not gonna be that guy. Internally, I will be, but watch it however you want. Because I'm someone who's just stumbled into the Fate Zeros. I saw like a YouTube compilation which was like top 10 anime fights, and one of them was like a Saber versus Lancer fight in Fate Zero. And I was like, ooh, that looks really cool. I'm gonna watch this series. Went into it, had my mind blown, and also melted because I didn't know what was happening. But then as I kept But then on the second rewatch and the third and the fourth and the fifth, I liked it a lot. Sure. I mean, I do feel like Dean gets a lot of shit just mainly because it gets so often compared to Ufotable, which is unfair for anybody. But I mean, it also came out in 2006, which I get isn't really too much of an argument because there's some phenomenal looking shows that came out in 2006. It's just when you look at what you have versus what you get, I don't know. For me, like going from Fate Zero to Dean's Fate Stay Night was such a stark like quality difference, but I don't know. It does look the most like the visual novel, to be fair, but I prefer Ufotable style. I don't know. Maybe it would be different if I did it how you did it and I watched that first, but I don't know. I did not expect to go on a Fate tangent, but this is what happens when you activate me, and then I'm thinking about that. Oh my god. Fate Zero, that was prime quarantine stuff, man. That stuff got me out of a bad time. It's like I had recently gone through a bad breakup at the time, and then, you know, mid-quarantine, didn't know what I was doing with my life. And yeah, I discovered Fate Zero, and I was just like, wow, purpose. The best Fate adaptation would be with Dean's art style and music with Ufotable quality animation. Sure. In a perfect world. I mean, yeah, that would work. For me personally, I love Yuki Ket. For me, Fate Zero's soundtrack is my favorite soundtrack of all time. Attack on Titan, I think, has rivaled that, but it's rivaled everything else, to be fair. But for years, it has been one of my favorite soundtracks. The most religiously listened to soundtrack I've listened to forever. But, you know, I am open to revisiting the Dean Fate Stay Night at some point in the future. Not for videos, God no. But, you know, I may end up being like Thanos, just like, I may have treated you too harshly. It's, yeah, sure. It at least got my mind focused on something else, you know? I got to be passionate about something. And then I got my friend into it, just because I had no one to talk to about it. So I was just like, yo, my friend, watch the Fate series with me. And, you know, we did that, and that was fun. So it's like, I got to have the experience of watching it for myself, and then I got to show it to a friend. So I got to re-experience that first time thing. I need to do that with Attack on Titan someday with somebody. That would be great. But, yeah. It definitely brought me out of a dark time, and then it sent me on an anime journey of watching a bunch of other stuff throughout the remainder of quarantine. And then leading me to try to figure out what to do with my life, which led me to today. Where I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my life, but at least I have passion. But yeah, Fate. Hell of a show. Let's move on. Date Alive. I did do a series on that. It wasn't a first time reaction. I mean, there is a first time reaction of me doing season 4 and then season 5. But the first 3 seasons I revisited, had fun with that. That was one of my favorite series to do, just because I knew what was coming. And it was just so fun. That show is so much more funny than what I remember. And, yeah. That was one of my favorite shows to do the, like, best of moments for, the compilation. Just because, you know, we were just having a laugh. So many laughs. It was a great time. Attack on Titan, obviously, did a series for that. One of the most... A series that just changed everything for me. Both, you know, for YouTube and just my life. You know, a series that I thought I understood And then like only a couple episodes into it, realized I knew nothing at all. It just, the first time experiencing some of those big twists and moments are just unmatched. And it's on camera. It's a shame I didn't get to experience like some of the moments. Like mainly like the first two big twists of the story I knew about. But everything else after that was stuff I really knew nothing about. And that was great. And it's sad looking back on that series. It's like, oh, I could do it better now. I could do it better. But you know, it's still great. It's something I'd been building towards for a long time. And I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'm happy with how many people like found my channel because of it. And like the series still continues to do well. Like people are still watching it. And it's one of the series I miss most. Like I miss being in the middle of it. It's one of those shows where it's just like you want the answers to everything, but then you get them. And then those answers are replaced with more questions. And then you get to the end, and while you still have some questions, it's like, I want to go back to being ignorant. I want to wipe my mind of it so I can re-experience it for the first time again. But it's, yeah. Attack on Titan, being able to experience that for the first time is an unmatchable experience. And I'm continuously envious of anybody, especially people who are truly experiencing it for the first time. It could be the next Fate. Unironically, I've heard it said in the same conversation. I remember when I was like getting into Fate, like people have brought up the Index series. So maybe, you know, I'm open to that. You know, just eventually we'll get there. We'll get there. But Shimonetta, that unironically was my second, well, I guess not really my second, but the second show I ever watched, second anime ever. Lore and Power System. Interesting. I mean, I'm more interested now. Yeah, again, whenever the next poll is, I do. I'll do that as an option. But Mob Psycho 100, I had a first time reaction to season 3 for that. Season 1 and 2 though I had watched not long before the third season came out. Yeah, there's Heaven's Feel again. I didn't realize how many 10 out of 10s I had. How many do I have? I have 67, goddamn. I've seen some shit. I mean, a lot of these are like the same show, like Attack on Titan's on here like several times and different seasons of things, but still, good chunk of stuff. Science and Magic. The Wondrous World. Yeah. I've had like a screenshot for a while of like the correct watch order for the Index series. It's just, yeah, again, I haven't gone into it. I mean, that would be a fun show to actually do a reaction series to, because like I don't, aside of like clips I've seen here and there, which I don't know the context of, it's like I don't know anything really about the show. I don't know anything about the power system, the characters, anything. I just know that its timeline is kind of crazy, but so is Fate's, so I guess it would be perfect. I'm gonna check something real quick. Just gonna check something. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's just those kind of shows I gotta pick and choose, because obviously, like, I still watch stuff in my spare time, but it's stuff I really gotta like think about. But I mean, like I talked about earlier, it's like I do kind of have to like dip my toes into whatever I potentially want to react to now, just because like I don't want to have more Overlord, Delicious in Dungeon, Psychopath situations where, you know, I'm into it at first, but then it's like I get so burnt out with it pretty quickly, where it's a show that I'm watching, but I'm not really doing any reacting, or it's just like it's more of a chore to edit. It's a show like it needs to be a show I have fun rewatching as well, because like that's like because I still edit my own stuff, so it's like that's really the bulk of why I drop a lot of things. It's just like I don't want to edit any more of it. It's just like I get tired of it. So like if I had my own editor, then that would be a different situation. Then I would just deal with it, because it's like I'm not having to do that. I could watch as many as I want in a sitting. But I'm still doing things on my own. So until that ever happens, I'm going to start and drop as many shows as I feel like. But yeah. Devilman Crybaby was a surprise. That might have been an interesting one to react to, just for like the art style alone. I mean, there wasn't really too much to discuss with that one. Just like it was grotesque. It was insane, and kind of dark. It is what it is. That is what I say. It was grotesque. I did like it though. I was like a Vinland Saga. I was so close to doing a Vinland Saga reaction series as well. I remember I had genuinely thought about it. It was around the time when I did Freyren. Because I remember I think that's what the choice was in my mind. I could have just held off on Vinland Saga. I don't know why I didn't, but it was like yeah, hold that thought. Psychopaths, yeah. I mean, Psychopaths, like, I started doing a series for it. I mean, a lot of why I kind of dropped Psychopaths was because I started doing the Data Live rewatch, which was more fun, and I focused on that instead. But I finished season 1 of Psychopaths, and I did a review for it. Hey, HH. No, you're good. We're just talking about anime, which is all I ever do. Feel free to join the conversation. But I finished season 1 of Psychopaths, and I liked it. I liked it. I mean, my clickbaity title for it is just like Psychopaths is overrated, criminally overrated, because, you know, that ties into the subject matter. But it's just, I don't know. I'll come back to Psychopaths in a minute. But I did watch Madoka Magica. Madoka Magica was fun. I didn't do a series on it or anything. It was a series that I feel like I just blitzed through. But I liked the twist on the magical girl genre. It was darker. I need to still watch the movies for those as well. But Psychopaths was just, like, I liked the world, I liked the characters enough, but I just felt like it was slow. A little too slow. And honestly, like, where season 1 ended, I know there's more of it, but I don't really have an interest in watching more of it, so I'm fine just leaving it where it is. I mean, that's fine, man. I'm all for that. And that's what we're here for. I'm here. I mean, as I was talking earlier with Ruben, it's just like since I'm doing like more anime reactions, it's like I've already watched so many of the classic shows before really doing YouTube, and even like intermittently I've watched a lot of stuff, so it's harder for me to sort of pick and choose what to do series on. But I think that ends up being more interesting, because then I get people who recommend me stuff that maybe I haven't really heard of, or maybe I've had a passing interest in. So go ahead, give me some of those weird specific recommendations. Like, honestly, you'll be surprised. Like, me and Ruben talked earlier about a show that I had no idea, that we both had no idea. It's just like we both knew about. We were talking about that, but watching anime since 2009. I mean, I've been watching Dragon Ball since at least 2008, but I've really been like an anime fan within the last, like, at least since high school, so 2016, 2017-ish, but more consistently in recent years. But, you know, I've watched some oldies, man. Some of the older ones are some of my favorites. You will not be judged for recommending anything. That is the thing, you know. In the early days, definitely, it was more for fun. I mean, to be fair, a lot of how I do my videos anyway is just like, it's an extension of a hobby. You know, I'm sort of just monetizing my hobby. But I do sort of have to consider that now, just now that I'm sort of kind of making a career out of it steadily. Like, what shows are gonna do better, but I more do it just like because I'm having fun with it, you know? Like, I kind of cherish more of the shows that I wasn't necessarily doing for views or for anything like that. I was just doing it to have fun. I mean, I started doing ReZero before I was monetized or any of that, and that was fun. Yeah. I mean, that's more what I kind of do anyway. I mean, I try to look at what's coming out for the season, just like, is it worth reacting to for me? I mean, again, me and Ruben talked about this earlier as well, just like the kind of shows I want to do. Like, I don't necessarily want to just jump on what's popular. Like, I kind of do occasionally, of course, like, you know, I did Dun Da Dun, of course, doing ReZero week to week, but that's just because I have an interest in ReZero, but even still, like, I'll jump on stuff that's popular maybe at the time, and I may not like it. Case in point, I didn't really like Solo Leveling. But, you know, for the shows that I want to do for series, it's like, it's stuff that I want. It's stuff that I need to, like, kind of spark, like, intellectual conversations. You know, mainly just stuff that, like, you know, to make, like, a longer discussion video about, basically, you know. Because that's stuff that ends up being... Because if it's not that, then it's stuff I kind of end up dropping, where it's just like, it's kind of... I'm just reacting, just kind of like, that's cool, but then it's like, there's nothing really to talk about. I'm not really interested, you know? That's why, like, you know, ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, Attack on Titan, Higurashi, like, all those shows have ended up being, and even Date Alive as well, have been some of my favorite series to do. It's just because, like, while... those have been fun series just to watch, there was fun discussions to be had, fun theorizing, the community as well getting involved, like those who knew stuff about it telling me things. You know, that's been the best part. Yeah, that's why I'm on Mal right now, is just kind of going through shows that maybe would have been fun to do. But sadly, Steins Gate would have been fun, just because, especially like when I did watch Steins Gate, I truly knew nothing about it. Especially once you get to that one point halfway through where the story like really changes into what it is. Like, that would have been fun to experience properly for a reaction series, you know. But, you know, that's why I still try to do reviews of shows instead of just like, you know, I watch them and passively kind of maybe talk about them. Just because I still do try to like emulate what I felt as I was watching it. But, you know, to be fair, not a lot of my reviews are some of the best. Like, I did do a Steins Gate review a long time ago, but, you know, you know, I would do my reviews better now, but, you know. Into mecha and 80s pop idol music, watch SDF Macross. It's mecha. Okay. This looks interesting, I guess. Speaking of mecha, though, I do want to get into Gundam eventually. I mean, I'm already into Gundam in the sense that I build Gundam models, but I have never like watched any of Gundam. But I want to, just because like some of the stuff I hear like is so good. Like some of Gundam's music is stuff I listen to, but I've never watched the show. That's why on one of my polls I put Iron-Blooded Orphans as like one of the options, just to like maybe, you know, put that in there maybe, but I don't know. We've only done one mecha show on the channel. Well, two technically. You know, we did Darling in the Franxx, and you know, we did Attack on Titan, which is technically a flesh mecha. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with The Rascal Does Not Dream. Yeah, that would have been a fun one to do. Like again, me and Ruben were talking earlier. It's just like, would you ever consider like doing shows that are kind of more wholesome? Which I think Rascal would have been fun. That's just like, I haven't seen, like I was at Anime Expo when the movie about his sister like going through all that came out. Like I watched it at Anime Expo. But that hasn't come out anywhere from what I've seen, which is interesting. I mean, I'm sure it was probably released at some point, so I haven't been paying attention. But I know there's also the Knapsack Kid, which is like another part of my story, which I haven't seen yet. I don't know if it's out, but I need to see that eventually because I do really love that series. A good friend of mine, that's like one of his favorite series as well. It made me cry, yeah. Yeah, I was in an auditorium of like 100 different weebs as well. We were all crying for that. Rewatching Steins Gate as a more knowledgeable anime weeb is a fun experience. Maybe. The only part of that is just like the first couple episodes because it's slower, but it's not actually my start. Oh, okay, never mind. I was just going off the poster of that. I don't know. But I don't know if, yeah, that's like the next story because when I was at Anime Expo and we watched the sister movie, that it ended with like, oh well, Knapsack Kid is gonna be the next thing, and it's like, oh sheesh. So, which that was about nearly 2 years ago now when I saw that, so it's been a bit. But yeah, I started talking about Vinland Saga and I got so derailed. Oh yeah, I was gonna do a reaction series to Vinland Saga, and I really wish I did because that show ended up being one of my favorites of all time. I have no enemies, a phrase that has changed my existence. And again, I almost did, but I chose to do Freyrin Beyond Journey's End instead, which that show was really good as well. Another show that sort of changed my outlook on life as well. But it's the opposite. Okay. Yeah, I need to look into it. I mean, yeah, in hindsight of Steins Gate, I like the slower start. It's just, if I were to do a series on it, I don't know. I don't think I would. I think it would take a bit to get through those first couple episodes, but I'll definitely revisit in some capacity. Just because at the time, I don't think I appreciated it as much as I maybe would have now. But, you know, I'm kind of at a point where I need to kind of revisit a lot of those shows that because I was just like watching a lot of those just banger shows. Just one after another. So, you know, I didn't really take the time to like sort of sit and stew with them as I should have, but Doesn't mean I still didn't think it was a 10 out of 10 show, though. Yeah. Yeah, not saying I'll never rewatch it. Just, I don't know if I'll do it for videos. Yeah. What's the consensus on the Steins Gate dub with you guys? Because that's how I watched it. Everywhere. I think J. Michael... I think Okabe's... I think J. Michael Tatum's Okabe is one of the best English performances I've ever heard. I have not seen Steins Gate Zero. I do know, like, roughly what it's about, though. Like, I know it's, like, it's basically building up, like, what he sees in, like, the video at the end. And, like, what happens in that. I'm probably... That's just what I remember. Very dope. It is really good. I mean, again, that's how I watched it for the first time. J. Michael Tatum is one of the best voice actors, man. And that show cemented that even more so for me. But yeah, Zero, I haven't watched it. I've seen, like, everything for Steins Gate, basically, though. Yeah. Yeah, I've been meaning to. Just because, like, I never really went into it initially after finishing the show, just because, like, I heard so many conflicting things about it. Like, I had seen people being like, it's not really worth watching, or, like, you should, like, whatever. So I didn't really bother, but, like, honestly, I might just watch Zero again. Or not again, or just in general. Fleshed out the side characters. That's what I've heard, yeah. I might watch it, not on the channel, just, or maybe on the, I don't know. I'll watch it at some point. Maybe I'll do that before I rewatch, like, the actual series. But, like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Same VA as Light. That's interesting, huh? I don't know. With shows like that, I feel like you need to have a really good dub, because when there's so many, like, plot and details introduced, if, like, you have a good voice cast with that, I mean, obviously for native English speakers, and also for me, who just really appreciates good voice acting, especially in English dubs, because that is not good a lot of the time. But when you have really good ones like J. Michael Tatum, and of course a lot of the other side cast as well, it's really good. Right. Trying to figure if I have a preferred genre. I mean, sort of. I mean, you can look at what I've watched and you can sort of just be like, oh, I enjoy hype, basically. But, I mean, let's take a look at the old channel. Why don't we? I have it right here. I forgot that's the thumbnail for the thing. Let's take a look-see. I also really love Apothecary Diaries. I have not watched any of season 2 yet, just because when I watched season 1, I waited till all of it was done, and I'm kind of doing the same for season 2 as well. But if we take a look at what I have watched over the course of the show, over the course of the channel, kind of go way back. Like, you know, we've done Date Alive, we've done My Hero, only 2 seasons of it though. Yeah. Apothecary Diaries is really good though. I like it. Me and Ruben talked earlier, just like, yeah, I love romance anime and stuff like that. Let's see, what else have I done? I did a season of Demon Slayer. Fate Zero, again, talked about earlier, one of my favorite animes of all time. Did Freyren, or I guess what I could talk about, like, I love shows that get me to talk about things, really, you know? Like, it'd be one thing if it's just a show that's, like, action-based. Good example here, Kaiju number 8. This show was pretty good. Wasn't bad. It's just, it was a lot of action. It was good action. It's just, I didn't really feel hooked on the story of what was happening. Which, if this show had came out like 5 years ago and I watched it, I probably would have really enjoyed it just because it was kind of just action. But, you know, we have shows over here like Mushoku Tensei, Oshinoko, Attack on Titan, Den, Higurashi, Darling in the Franxx, Terror in Resonance, Arcane. I have seen Toradora. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of things. I've been an established weeb before I've been a YouTuber, but that's just been what it is. But it's just I'm much more appreciative now of shows that are good dramas and like, but also have an element of action in them. I do like that. It's Attack on Titan's the perfect example. The action in that show is arguably some of the best action in anime ever, but it's not what I think about first. It's rarely what I think about. It's like, I guess what I'm looking for most in anime is just good character stories. Good character stories, good drama, and with a little bit of extra spice, be that good animation, good art, good music, maybe some fun fights that gives it just that little bit of extra like fluff to it. But it's not just action for action's sake. You know. No, yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I just want action. I'm saying that it's action. I want action that serves a purpose in the story, where, you know, it's not just like Dragon Ball where it's just like we're getting to inevitable outcome of a fight eventually, or like fights are the reason that the story is happening. It's where those fights serve a purpose in the plot, where it's honestly a case of like maybe two characters are fighting that you don't necessarily want to be fighting, but it's also kind of hype. ReZero, perfect example. Like ReZero has some pretty good action, especially this season. It's some of the best action this series has ever had, in my opinion. But like going to specifically the first couple seasons of that, like seasons 1 and 2, I can't really think of too many fights that I really enjoyed, just mainly because I didn't care about the fights. I enjoyed the character moments and the drama and the mystery of it all much more than when the fights actually happened. Though the fights, when they did happen, were really good, which were backed by the characters. Like, I cared enough about the characters. Like, there was build up to it. So that's more or less what I'm getting at. Like, the kind of stories I'm looking for is just like, they're just the anime in which I feel like it's warranted reaction series. Like Oshinoko is a good example as well. Let me show you how to block this ad. Let me close the video first of all. Yeah, Data Live is, yeah, Data Live for me as well is like a show that if I had watched it today, I would probably hate it, but it's because I had watched it. It was like one of the first anime I'd ever watched. And I kept up to it to this day, and I love it for that. Like, I know it's trashy, but like there's enough heart to it that I love it. And that series is one of my favorites that I've ever done. If we go to, the Data Live rewatch was one of my favorite series I've ever done, because rewatching it, just like refreshing myself on the lore and the stories in it in preparation for season 5, and just reminding myself of how funny the show is. Like, a lot of people probably wouldn't find it funny, but just because I know the show, like, I don't know. That's just me. Oshinoko. But yeah, Oshinoko. It's I mean, Oshinoko is a perfect example as well. It's just like this. It's a beautiful anime. It's a beautiful show. Season 2 is really good. I will say, for me personally, I think I enjoyed season 1 maybe more than season 2, but there are parts of season 2 that I think are some of the best in this show so far. I mean, I had personal investment in it just because it dealt a lot with like theater plays and productions, which I have experience with. So that kind of hit home for me, which was fun to do for a reaction series as well, week to week. But there were fun discussions in that though as well. And yes, the character development as well. I think having it back to back with season 1 as well is really good. And like, I know stuff in the manga as well, like a couple things here and there. Like, I know how it ends, but I don't know a lot of how we bridge from where season 2 ends to where that ends. So like, I know that there's controversy as with every popular thing that ends, but for the anime so far of Oshinoko, I think it's really good. I think it's a very meta thing, because it's like it's a drama about drama, basically. Like, they're making a drama while being in a drama, and I think it's perfect for that. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Like, I only know just of the accounts that have been posting about how bad it is, so mine is just proxy information. So I don't have my own opinion about it because I haven't read it yet. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't know the specifics. I only know like I'm not gonna spoil it, obviously, but I know the big thing, but I don't know specifics about it. But yeah, that was a fun. It was a fun show to do. So I guess to go back to your question of just like what shows can you really recommend me, I guess dramas that aren't boring is what you could say. Dramas that, you know, good character pieces. That's what I'm all about. That's all I really want, you know. Again, just looking at a lot of these. The big thing is literally in the first season, right? But yeah. But going back to this, like Freyren was just a good message about just life, immortality, like is it truly something, do you truly want to live forever, just how to deal with loss and all that kind of stuff. Of course, this is my very surface level just rendition of it. A boring drama. I'm trying to think. Like, there's not something that immediately comes to mind. Like, let's go back to Mal. Let's see. Because, I mean, boring is kind of a hard... boring is a harsh thing to give to something, but... I mean... Let's see. Let me sort by score and go to the bottom. Score... ascending... Yeah, get past all this crap. Okay. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So... Okay, well, this is going to be hard, because I don't know, like, what people have seen and have not seen, so... No, I don't know. Not Anohana. Frick. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Elfin lead. Or I don't know, because yeah, I guess Elfin lead. To be fair, I just didn't like the show in general, to be fair. Elfin lead, I think, isn't necessarily boring. Okay, maybe Elfin lead's a bad example. I just didn't like that show, so that's why it's that low. But I'm kind of exposing myself seeing a lot of these titles. Perfect. Solo leveling. Here we go. Solo leveling, for me, personally, I get that solo leveling is really popular. 8.28. That's a really high score here. But solo leveling, for me, it's not even necessarily, I liked the concept, I liked the characters, I liked everything surrounding it. It's just, there just wasn't, I just didn't feel connected to it. I don't know how to describe it. That is, no, do not put those two in the same conversation. I guess solo leveling is a bad example as well. God, I can't think of... Drama's hard, because it's like... More often than not, I think I'll find a reason to rate drama higher. Just because it's like... I kind of give it a couple more points for that. Fuck, I can't... I can't really think of a bad drama. Like, there's definitely bad dramas. Let's get that straight. Well, it's... See, with dramas, the thing is, it's not necessarily that they're boring, it's just you don't care necessarily, because, like, drama is built upon the fact that you care about the characters' lives, you care about what they're getting up to. It's basically the sadder, more real version of slice of life. So, I guess boring is a bad way for me to say. It's just like, I don't like, I guess what turns me off to certain dramas is just where I stop. I don't care, really. I don't, and I guess why I stop caring is Summertime Render. Now that's a phenomenal drama, but I wouldn't necessarily call that drama. I mean, it is, let's be fair. It's just, that has its own element to it. Summertime Render would have been a fun reaction series to do as well. That would have been fun, but I don't know. I keep throwing around the word drama. It's just, I need shows like that where it's like the characters are good. The characters have, like, there's enough to them where they have substance. They are characters. Like, they develop. And, like, even if there's not necessarily anything supernatural going on in the story, it's enough to where the dynamics of back and forth stuff, like, it works. Like, like, Attack on Titan, coming back to that, it's like, though the world at large of Attack on Titan is so fascinating and is one of my favorite world-building things ever, like, what got me hooked really into it in the initial thing, which was the point really of the first couple episodes, is the characters. Like, you feel like you grow and learn information in the story along with them. Disney Channel. Yeah, I heard that about Summertime Render. Perfect mix of Higurashi, ReZero, and Steins Gate. Yeah, sort of. I would say leans more into the ReZero side just because of the resetting, but anyway. Just, that's ultimately what I'm getting at, just to put a wrap on this. Just, I want shows that make me care, basically, which I guess is kind of hard because obviously you're not me. It's kind of hard to put what I'm what I like, because a lot of the times I may not like what you like, and you may not like what I like. You know, that's just taste. But like what we were talking about earlier with Date Alive, like I'm sure a lot of people would not like Date Alive, but it's just how I experienced it. I loved it. I still love it. It's probably one of my guilty pleasures. It's easily probably my biggest guilty pleasure. Another romance is Wotakoi. Wotakoi is pretty good. So that's another thing with recommending me romance stuff, is just like I've pretty much watched a lot of the big ones. It is an office romance though. It's like a adult romance, which is different than, you know, the typical romance, but I like it for that. Wotakoi does get said a lot in like a lot of people's favorite romance anime. For me personally, it's not one of my favorites, but I do like it. I liked it more the second time, definitely. But no, yeah, I get it. That's the whole point of this. We're just talking about anime. That's what I do. More drama, romance surrounding adults. Exactly. That's why let's go back to talking about good shows. Descending. Yeah, I've been starting to realize that myself as well. You know, the farther and farther I get from when I have graduated high school, the less it sort of hit. Not that it can't not hit. There's still good ones out there. It's just, you know, I'm not here for the same story over and over again. Okay, where is it? But speaking of good adult romances, this one isn't adult necessarily. It's a college romance. Golden Time is one of my favorite romances of all time. I definitely recommend this. It's about 24 episodes long, and basically I don't want to get too much into the details, but you know, it's a romance that you think is going one way, but it goes another way. And it's a romance story that feels very real. Like, you know, it doesn't hit a lot of the same stereotypical romance anime beats that normally happens. It's a show I definitely need to revisit. It's been quite a few years. I made a review of it as well. It is very underrated. I love it quite a bit. Like, yeah, not necessarily adult, but, you know, it's not high school. That's what I'm getting at. It's college romance, which, you know, kind of operates in a similar sort of way, but, you know, it's still different. Same author as Toradora. Toradora is a really good one as well. It is very good. I'm trying to think of other, like, romance ones that are not necessarily high school ones. That's fair. I mean, some of my favorite romance ones are like high school romance, you know, Love is War, Fruits Basket, Clannad, you know. I'm not saying that it's not, like, it can be done well. But granted, these are shows that I have watched more closer to when I was still in high school. But Dangers in My Heart, though that's middle school romance, which is basically the same. 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really Love You. That is different. Quintessential quintuplets. Oh, my lord. We'll be here all day or all night. Haruhi's... Not Haruhi. Listen, man. I like going into Clannad, I knew it would be tearful, so I was bracing for it, but you know, nothing could prepare you. It's the same with Fruits Basket as well. Both of those shows are the two that have made me cry the most. Nothing's topping Changes in My Heart. It is really good, but you know, the anime of that has been top notch, better than the manga, I would say. But you know, people don't like the ending. I mean, I don't really like the ending either, but You know, I've come to terms with it. It's just one of those shows where it's just like, my waifu didn't win, thus it is bad. But, you know, whatever. I'm over it. I'm totally over it, trust me. But I don't know. It was a journey, not the destination kind of story. Even though the whole point kind of was the destination. I have lost track of what I was talking about. Love is War, though. God damn, that was one of the best romance animes ever. I would venture to say the best romantic comedy ever. More so than just hard stop romance. Yeah, true. I mean, you can have harem shows, though, and have it be like, it's clear who the winner's gonna be. It's like, you have your blue-haired secondary girl who's just like, yeah, you're not gonna win, but I'm gonna root for you anyway. Rem. But, you know, it, like, you could still have it be something. Has the issue that it's unlikely for a season 4. I mean, they technically had a season 4. It's just, it was a movie split up into 3 parts. Yeah. I'll talk about Love is War first, and then we'll talk about quintessential quintuplets. To be fair, where the Love is War movie ended, I feel like if there wasn't more of the anime at the very least, I would be fine. I feel like there's enough there. But I need to read the manga eventually. I mean, because from the sounds of it, I don't know if there'll ever be more. I feel like it's popular enough. Not that that matters, I know, but I don't know. Coming back to quintuplets. Where the fuck is it? Blah, da, 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 da. There it is. The things with quintuplets, though, like, the author of Love is War is mainly focusing on the love of Interesting. I'm not familiar with that, but ayo, we learned something new. But coming back to quintuplets, there wasn't enough setup or development to find the journey with Final Girl Satisfying. I mean, yeah. That's the biggest complaint. It's like, it would have been fine if the girl who won in that was the one who won, if there was setup for it. It's just, it's funny when that's the person who wins and then they try so hard to justify it in the show, and it's like, sure. I just find it so funny that one of the justifications given is that, like, the girl basically is like the author's wife, which if that's the case, you figured he wouldn't have if that's the case, you figured he would have given more to that character. But, you know, whatever. Again, journey, not the destination. You know, there was fun parts of that story, and, you know, I like the characters for who they were. Some of the best waifus, I feel like. And yeah, Miku will forever be one of my favorites as well, and Nino. Yes, that is the thing. That was that whole plot point throughout the majority of the show that just... nothing happened really with that till the very end, and even then it's just like... There was a lot of... Well, really, there wasn't any build-up. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. It's just... I don't know. I've stopped being angry about it, because why? It's just like... Oh, did this thing finally end? Crazy. Next one. My man. No, yeah, literally, that's the whole reason the show starts the way it does. It's just... It had so much potential. Which, I mean, it's just one of those ones by the end where it's just like... Mentally, I'm like, good for you. I guess. But... You know... Honestly, they should have just taken the pussy route and just been like, alright, everybody wins. It's a full-on harem. Who cares? At least everybody's happy. But whatever. It was gonna... It crashed and burned either way, but, you know, I couldn't help but squeak a little bit of a tear by the very end. At least, like, seeing the wedding. But... And, like, the couple specials that came out afterwards, and the fact that they're still doing more from what I've heard, like, there's something new coming out for it. Whenever that's gonna be, whatever it's gonna be. But he did go on his honeymoon with all 5, yeah. Basically, I still need to watch the fucking honeymoon thing. It's like, yeah, just... You're just gonna do that anyway, so... I don't really like this song. There you go. But, I'm over it. I still think it's one of my favorite romances of all time. I mean, I have said it in a video last Valentine's Day. It was like my number 5, but... I don't know. It's probably gone down a couple notches, but I don't know. I still enjoyed it for what it was. I made a very emotional rant video about it. It was a, let's find it actually. If we go to the romance anime playlist, it is this video. Quintessential Quintuplets, the series that broke me. Ranma 1/2. Didn't they get a remake recently or something? Yes, you just answered. I haven't heard much about it. I've heard the title, like the 1/2 or whatever, but it's outdated. I mean, it is an 80s romance, so romance was different, I guess, back then. God, looking at all my fucking romance videos that I've done. I haven't done too many lately. I mean, I did my Valentine's Day video. But... yeah. My first ever anime review was this one. The Snow White with the red hair. That was something. That was back when I was trying to, like, do some weird series where I was reviewing, like, all the shows on my Mal in, like, alphabetical order. Which I only did, like, 3 of them, I think. But, yeah. GTO. I recently started GTO. I'm only about a couple episodes into it. I'm kind of like... I can't binge anime like I used to, man. I used to be like, I'm not going to bed until I finish this show, and now I do like maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to bed. You already watched Haruhi? Yes. Is the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya actually good? You decide. I mean, time has passed since then. I think it's a fine show. I think it's a little overhyped personally, but it does have a really good English dub, I must say. Just because the main character is voiced by Crispin Freeman, who is one of my favorite... Actually, he is my favorite voice actor, period. Which started from him voicing Kira in Fate Zero, coming back to that when we talked about it earlier. Favorite anime when I was in high school? Well, you could relate to it. Probably. A lot of yeah. Um, Haruhi. I mean, to be fair, I watched it like a couple of years ago at this point. Um, I think my main problem was with the character of Haruhi herself. It's like I didn't ever really feel attached to her. In fact, I found her very annoying 90% of the time. But I get that was kind of the whole point of the show, was that like she wasn't meant to change how she was, because otherwise the world would be destroyed. But I liked all the other characters though. Again, the dub of it was actually really phenomenal, and that was probably what made me like it more. And the Endless Eight, do not get me started. Do not get me started. The show didn't want you to get attached to her. Well, it worked. It worked to great effect. I did not really ever feel attached to her. In the movie, though, I much preferred the disappearance. Yes, until she was disappeared. I preferred Haruhi in the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Honestly, I preferred the movie more than the show, honestly. But I get you needed one before the other. But yeah, don't even get me started on the Endless Eight, because why? God. Never did a season 3. I mean, they never did a season 2, right? Well, to be fair, I watched it on Crunchyroll, which had all of it just in one thing. So I do know that it was split into, it was 2 seasons. I remember, because that's right, because the season ends like halfway through the Endless Eight, and then season 2 picks up and it's the Endless Eight again, because that's hilarious to me. They wanted to make Disappearance a movie, then just wait. I don't know. Just make more, have it be more of a hiatus in between season 1 and 2. No Game No Life season 2 when? Who cares anymore? Like, legit. The show was fine, dog. Will be in the seasons. I don't know. I get anime was different back then. By the way I look at it, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe instead of doing 2 seasons, or I don't know, like if you have it end, have season 1 end where it does, have the Endless Eight be 3 episodes at most, and then have season 2 maybe be shorter. And then, I don't know, have the hiatus be a little bit longer. I don't know. Episodes in... Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. That's right. Because I remember someone at some point was just like, you need to watch Haruhi Suzumiya in the way it was released, which is like all fucking out of order. And I'm just like... I already watched Star Wars The Clone Wars out of order when it aired on TV. That was what I was doing in 2009. So I'm good with having a coherent story chronologically as well. But I don't know. That's just one of those things I'll never let go of, is just how bad that was. Eight episodes in, let's see. Yeah. That was just, my God. My favorite part about that, though, was seeing the comments on the episode when the Endless Eight finally ended, of like the next episode when the next arc finally started, with someone being like, no, they needed to go to the festival to catch fish, and he needed to wake up, and they needed to go shopping. But oh my God. Yeah, that was painful. But at least I didn't get to experience it, or at least I didn't have to experience it when it came out. Star Wars OT, PT, or ST. And now we pivot to a completely different topic. You ever watched Rent a Girlfriend? No, you weren't supposed to see that. This is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. Okay. I'm just going to ignore the Star Wars conversation because that don't get me started. So I have watched I'm currently up to date with the anime of Rent a Girlfriend. And the reason why this video is called I Have a Confession to Make it's called a confession because I was like, brace yourselves, but I enjoyed Rent a Girlfriend. I enjoy, like, I think it gets shit on a little too hard. Like, I'm up to date with the manga. I'm so sorry for you. Like, let's not get it twisted. Kazuma, or whoever the fuck the main character is named, is one of the worst main characters in anything ever. The show would be like 50 times better if the main character was at all competent or just at all changed. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I've seen that meme where it's just like, surely the main character changes like 300 chapters into the manga and it's like exactly the same. It's like, oh, well. It's just, I enjoy it mainly just because of I've embraced the chaos. Yeah, that's one of my favorite meme panels, just her being I'm on my period, just the double splash page. Yeah. Bro, worse than Subaru. Don't you dare slander my boy Subaru, all right? That boy had development. He grew as a person. I cried when he gave that speech. Okay? Kazuya has done nothing. He has been the same horrible character. At the very least, I can't say he's a boring character. It's just he's an annoying character. He's been the same for 3 seasons, and from what I understand, he's the same in chapter 1 as he is in chapter like 700. So don't go comparing Subaru. He is a saint. My boy is a knight of the realm. I cried for that man multiple times. Yes. This is truth. He speaks the truth. I never... God. But to be fair, like, when you're in the midst of watching it, like, that's why, like, I did, it's just, like, I embraced the chaos. I let it just do its thing. And honestly, I had fun with it. I stopped caring. I just let go. Yeah, that's... No. People don't understand. Tears of laughter. My tears were tears of just God, let it end. Tears of torture, torment. But I think mine was tears of laughter as well. I was just like, oh my lord. Yeah, no. I think people mainly say that because of, like, season 1 Subaru. Just in that sense of just, like, him going crazy, which the moments where Subaru snaps in season 1 and also in the bits of season 2 are completely justified. Come on. He's suffering the most brutal deaths imaginable and then having to start over again. And he has to keep telling people the same things over and over again. And it's just like, how do you not snap a little bit? It's completely justified. But whereas Kazuya, he does the same things over and over again, and it's not a time loop. It's, God, dude, I get it, bro. Like, girls they're so fascinating, but I don't need a monologue in your mind. Literally, the story opens with him beating his meat to his ex, or he does it like multiple times. Like, oh my God. At this point, the author has to be aware of how shit it is. You know, like, there's been too many memes, too many people talking about it. Like, the amount of death threats that man has to have gotten. Not saying he should, but yeah, Dear Soup does not change. Like, dude, he gave a whole speech about that, literally how much he's changed, dog. Again, I cried for that speech. I'll fight anybody who says Subaru is a bad character. On God, I will do it. But yeah, weirdly enough, like anytime there's a new season of Rent a Girlfriend announced, I weirdly get excited. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, I want to see just how much farther it falls. But just because at the same time, it's like I kind of enjoy the characters who aren't Kazuya. Like I like the girls for who they are. It's a romance between, yeah, that as well. Yeah, legit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of emotional when Cheeseater's grandmother died in Rent a Girlfriend. Just a little emotional, but you know, that's just because it is what it is. Yeah, that's just the thing about it. It's just, it keeps going. That's the kind of stuff I never understand. Even Mommy, to be fair, we haven't gotten too much of Mommy more in like the latest seasons yet, which I kind of want to, just because I want something to happen. Yeah, like, listen, when I say I like the characters, I don't mean in the sense that I think they're good characters. I like them in the sense that at least something's happening. Yeah, literally, and that girl ends up being like one of my favorite characters so far. Because it's just like, bro, get your shit together, please. But, and even then, it's like, it's only a matter of time before he bounces back. But, God, my train of thought, I can't keep one thing, but oh yeah, just the fact that it keeps going, it gets new seasons, the manga's still going. It's like, how does something like this continue? Something that is so clearly dog shit. And people openly say it's dog shit. But yet, some of the best shows and best romance stuff ever doesn't get more than 12 episodes. Yeah, legit, you know? You can't say bro hasn't developed. Yeah, while his like leg is like bleeding and he has like a dragon blood curse in him, like bro is literally a god. But yeah, despite it all, I can't help but be a little excited whenever there's a new season of that. But not excited in the sense that like, ooh, my favorite show is coming back. Excited in the sense like, ooh, I get to watch shit. I get to watch paint dry. But yeah. You can't say bro hasn't learned anything in 3 seasons. Which I would hope so. Compare 3 seasons of ReZero to 3 seasons of Rent a Girlfriend. You can't. Oh yeah. I'm sure someone's made a video calculating all that. Or the manga did? That's funny. Because... how? Fucking how? Like, he gets a job during the course of, like, the first season. Rem crying in her sleep, legit. Yeah, he's also in uni. Yeah, the legit. And then, like, there's the whole thing where, like, he's getting funds for Cheezer's stupid movie. It's like, dude. I don't know. It's just one of those suspend your disbelief, which, with that series, it's like, I give up completely. Literally, aliens could come from the sky and I would laugh hysterically. Yeah. Dumb. Dumb. Yeah, Subaru and Amelia are a good pair. Yeah, it's because Rem has been out of the story for like nearly 2 seasons now. God. Whenever Rem finally wakes up and I hear her voice again, I'm going to cry. Which isn't whenever that happens in like 7 seasons. But don't tell me when. I don't want to know. I like being blind. I'm not reading a fucking visual novel. I'm not reading a light novel or whatever it is. But no worries. It's been a pleasure chatting. I will probably be wrapping up soon anyway, just because, you know, I'd like to chill for the night and watch some more anime. This has been really fun, though. This is some of my favorite stuff. It's fun, actually. It's one thing, you know, in the videos, having the discussions and people commenting, but, like, doing it in real time, it's the shit I live for. I don't get it much these days. Because not a lot of my friends watch some of the crazy shit I do. It's like, the most I do is I get to tell them about it, and it's like, you will never watch this, but hey. The voice clips of season 1, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like they need to bring her in to do any voice lines. But I don't know. But I mean, yeah, if there's any like flashback stuff, I'm sure she gets stuff for that, but I don't know, whenever she comes back. But that was like one of my most raw reactions as well when that happened in the show. Specifically this episode. That was like the first time I cried for this show. Rem's speech. Emotional, literally. Emotional damage. That's what, like, there's still like that. I still have a scratch on like my drawer, my shelf thing back there from when I threw my pencil in rage. But like, I'll never paint over that just because, like, it's, you know, you never forget. Never forget your scars. I hope she comes back. I mean, she will eventually. I mean, the whole thing is like, we kill Gluttony, he comes back, which, I mean, they're fighting him right now. 2 halves of him, but I don't know if it's a case of like, you gotta kill both of them at the same time kind of thing. You know, you gotta cut off both heads of the snake at the same time or something like that, or just kill both. But I don't know. Maybe that's how the season will end. How this season will end. It's like Gluttony dies and then Rem finally wakes up. It's like, well, stay tuned for season 4 whenever that happens. What a time this was. 3-0. The first, like, really big series I decided to do. And now here we are. I mean, the author can do what he wants for the story, you know? It's like, you can have his vision, don't need to listen to fans all the time, otherwise you do get a Star Wars situation, and it becomes one of the worst things ever. Because, you know, fans are not writers. And they aren't the ones making it, so whatever the author wants to do, just so long as it is in line with what makes sense for the story. Good topics, man. Good stuff. Forgot we were playing solitaire for the first bit of this. It did get kind of crazy though when like 2 people started talking about like 2 different things. It's like, oh, I want to talk about that. But, and plus with the stream delay, it's a little awkward. But, you know, we'll get better eventually. I'll get some better internet and stuff. So, you know, it's more of a... I can get more of those just like immediate talks. Yeah. I mean, you don't get a popular series like this if you don't know what you're doing. The anime adaptation being as good as it is, source material is just as good. Except you will still get people that naturally are just like, they cut out this from the novel. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's still good. Okay, just relax. I'm sure one day down the line we'll get a big director's cut like we did with season 1. Which we still haven't gotten for season 2. At least I don't know if we have. But, you know. Someday, maybe. I mean, that's just what you get when you adapt a light novel versus a manga. Because the manga, it's like the whole story is visually there. You basically have the storyboards. But with a novel, specifically a light novel, a light novel, you have to really visualize it. You know, like there is some points where there's pictures, but, you know, you have to truly bring those visuals to light. And, of course, stuff is naturally going to get cut out because a light novel is longer than a light novel is going to be longer than a manga, which is going to be longer than an anime, so naturally some stuff's going to get trimmed. And, well, ReZero, and, like, again, for me not knowing anything about the light novel, it's the same with Mushoku Tensei as well. It's like, I don't notice anything missing, really. Like, would I like, I'll take more if there's ever more added, but for what it is at the time, I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah. Anime, man. Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like much is missing, but, you know, some fans will say otherwise, obviously. As with every time I upload a ReZero video, there's always somebody just like, well, here's what was cut out from the novel. Which, yeah. You know. You can't put in everything, because otherwise it would be just even longer. Which, I mean, would be nice, but, you know, you don't miss it. Because pacing is a thing that you have to consider. Welcome back, my man. We're just talking about ReZero. A couple more stuff, but... yeah, exactly. I mean, as much as I meme on it, I also, yeah, I did forget. Yeah, you were the way you. But I'm appreciative of it. I am appreciative of it. I like it. I like knowing. But, you know. But yeah, I mean, as much as I meme on it with ReZero, just like, oh well, another episode without the OP. I mean, at least this season so far has been really consistent with having the OP. I mean, my thing has just been, it's just like, I get you want more time for the episode. Just put the OP in. Just have it be a couple minutes longer. Who is stopping you? Gonna be obscure. I mean, I like that stuff. Honestly, you might be surprised of stuff I haven't watched. You know? You know, like every once in a while I find myself being like, well, I actually haven't watched this thing. Like, you know, again, I never watched Attack on Titan in its entirety until last year. Same with ReZero, same with Mushoku Tensei, same with other stuff. I have seen Licorice Recoil. That show is actually pretty good. That was one of my favorites that came out in the season that it came out, which was like 2022, I think. Yeah, John Wick, but with anime girls was how I described it. Let's see. That was one that I don't think I really liked as much when I initially watched it, but the more I thought about it, I did enjoy it. And I obviously rewatched it again, but of course, me kind of being a Yuri fan, kind of rides that Yuri line. But I mean, I'm not like fully into like I don't need that, but you know, I liked it. I liked the world, kind of quite the accurate adaptation. Sure. I know that I really hope there's more of it eventually. That'd be fun. I loved the voice acting, especially Chisato's voice. That was one of my favorites. Same with Takana. And I liked a lot of the other characters as well. But back to it. Let's do status now. Just start going alphabet. No, fuck off. There we go. Saw that latest episode of Daima. Or, well, I didn't see the full episode, but, you know. Once again, I woke up and immediately saw the big thing, because I can never just enjoy it. I think it's good I probably dropped my Daima reactions, because I never would have been able to wake up and do those reactions properly, because they would have been spoiled immediately, because I guess just don't go on social media that morning, Fivehead. Princess Principal. Let's have a look. Shit. Principal. I did not spell that correctly. Princess Tutu, is that it? Or maybe not that. Principal. Oh, there we go. Or maybe not. Yeah. I assume you mean this, or no, it can't be this. This is not that. Gotcha. Yep, this one, cool. Princess Principal. I have heard of this, I think. Maybe in passing, but yeah, I don't think I've never watched it. Discovery of the Substance, Cavorate. Is it on Crunchyroll? Let's take a look. Princess Principal. It's not. I will find it somewhere, trust. By Sentai, huh? I'm a fan of the Sentai. Secret agent stuff. Group of girls. Sounds similar enough to Licorice Recoil. Yeah. Sounds more like... well, literally London. There you go. Interesting. Maybe Black Butler-esque in some way. Just without maybe the supernatural part, or maybe with. I'll add it to the list at the very least. Plan to watch. Alright, I'm not logged in. Hold on. I gotta log in. Very cool. Yeah, cool. Have you seen Moritary the Patriot? That sounds familiar, but I don't think I have. I definitely haven't. This kind of looks similar to what we just looked at. Great Britain again. I'm sensing a pattern. Great Britain has become the greatest empire the world has ever known. Shocker. Latest rigid wealth. No surprise, the system favors aristocracy. Moriarty, second son of the Moriarty household, lives in a regular noble, while also being a consultant for the common folk who give them a hand and solve their problems. However, deep inside him lies the desire to destroy the current structure and dominate British society. This sounds like Sherlock Holmes. It sounds like a more grounded version of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, where it's just someone who just seems like they're going along with all of it and just being a part of like this noble thing, but then deep down they want to destroy it all. At least so far. I haven't fully watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes, but from the first 10 episodes I've seen of that, that's what I gather. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. All right, I am so back. Cool. But, sure, seems interesting. I'll add it to the list. Plan to watch. 2020, production IG. There's literally a dude called Holmes. Oh, and what? Oh, you literally said Sherlock Holmes. That makes sense. Man, Mal is so convenient. You know, just keep track of everything I've watched, and plus it gamifies a little bit. It's like I can put it on the list. What the fuck is this song? You know, this is some of the stuff I'm planning to watch for the season. I haven't gotten around to them yet. These two obviously haven't finished yet. Yeah, I'm watching that. What is this show again? Oh, right, that one's basically hentai. But some other ones that look interesting. I probably won't even end up looking through most of this. More than 10 years old, sure. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's some stuff on my list that I probably definitely forgotten that I've watched. Like, again, I made a video a while ago, where I went through, like, trying to speed run reviewing, like, a bunch of stuff in my mal, which this hasn't aged well because obviously more stuff has been added to my mal. So maybe once I hit 500 anime, if I haven't already. Have I hit 500? I have. Never mind. But a lot of these are like sequel seasons as well. Redo of a healer, get out of here. You want to talk about something that needs more episodes? Good God. Redo of a Healer. That would have been a fun series to do that I could have never shown. A Patreon exclusive reaction series, perhaps. But yeah, no. Hey, listen. At the very least, I like a good revenge story. Not saying that that's a good revenge story, but, you know, revenge is a dish best served horny, I guess, in where that's concerned. Just for the edge. Interesting choice of words. White Album. I have heard about this. I have not watched it. I have heard about it, however. Get me out of here. Yeah, White Album 2 or whatever. Is it just 2? Does 2 not have a connection to 1 at all? I've seen, like, this, it's on Crunchyroll for whatever reason. I mean, drama very huge. I love some huge drama. Yeah, because there's White Album 1. Just 2? Alright. I'm a fan of sequels with no setup. Doesn't have a connection with 1. Fair enough. That's good to know. This is on my plan to watch on Crunchyroll, so I guess this gives me more of a reason. Those were video games. Okay. Interesting. Light Music Club is on the verge of disbanding. At this rate, the third year's dream of performing at the school festival would never be realized. However, as his exhausted fingers drift through the chords of White Album, the first song he would ever play, an angelic voice and mysterious piano begin harmonizing with his lonely guitar. It is a momentous performance that marks the beginning of everything for Haruki. It's just the theme song. Okay, fair enough. Good to know. Drama and romance. That's what I love to see. Because yeah, if I go to Crunchyroll... shit. Yeah, there it is. Then there's this first one, which I guess don't bother about. 2. And the style looks interesting. I don't know why this ever ended up on my plan to watch, but it did. I must have just been browsing one day and just like, this looks interesting. Why not? So, yeah. I'll, if not for a video, definitely, or if not for reactions, if maybe a one-off review at some point. Interesting. I will keep that in mind. I need more manga as well. I've been reading more manga lately. Mainly romance manga. That's where a lot of my romance stuff has been lately. But to be fair, it's romance manga that I have taken an interest in because I watched the anime of. You know. Dangers in My Heart, keeping up to date with that mostly. 100 Girlfriends, keeping up to date with that. The manga. I literally have a manga thing. Yes. Hold on. Yes, I have seen Future Diary. Are you ready for a story? Other than a cure. I'll come back to that in a second, Ruben, but yes, I have watched Future Diary. I have told many people about this show. This is the pinnacle definition of I'm 14 and this is deep. This show has invaded my subconscious and has never left since I watched it when I was about 14. Don't know if it's controversial or not. I love the English dub for this, and I think it's the better way to watch it. Just because mainly the main character's voice, I hate it in Japanese. But this show is... It has not aged well, but... For my opinion, it hasn't aged well, but I don't know. I love the concept. I don't know. I just love the idea of a death game tournament. You know, I like a good battle royale in the sense. I would like to see this handled better or just in a different way, maybe. You know. It's time for it, yeah. I guess this sort of spurned what would be my love for Fate Zero. Just in the sense of like it's a death game tournament where you don't know who's fighting who. But you know, and everyone has like their own kind of ability. But I don't know. I still have sort of a guilty pleasure for it. I love it for what it is. It's 26 episodes. Good God. I swear it's like half as long in my mind. But it's interesting to rewatch nowadays. I would be honestly very open to do a rewatch reaction of this show. Just for the lulz, just for the fun, you know? Because I think there would be enough fun stuff in it. It definitely... Sure, yeah. It definitely sparked a yandere era for myself. And yeah, it definitely sent me down a rabbit hole, but you know, I then ended up dating a couple of yandere type characters, and well, safe to say I don't really like that character type anymore. I much prefer tsunderes. But yes, Mirai Nikki, hell of a show. Your boy Kong Ming, the only reason I know about it is because during the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, it was nominated for something a long time ago. It was like the 2022 awards. Your boy Kong Ming. Yeah. I've heard about it. I've never really taken an interest in it. But doesn't mean I won't ever. But coming back to Ruben's question about anime movies. Can I sort by movies on here? I probably can, but yeah, type movie, there we go. If we go to type special and I need movies. Okay. Not really romance. I mean, I don't need it to be romance. I mean, I like it, but sounds interesting. I'll keep it on the list at the very least. He's kind of modern Japan. That's funny. Good old isekais. That's the whole concept. All right. You've really sold it. Nah, I mean, I'll check it out at some point. But yeah, movies. Yeah, I've seen Akira. I've seen Cowboy Bebop movie. I've seen the Ghibli. You know, I've seen of the Ghibli movies. I've seen Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. I'm planning to watch more because it's a video series I'm doing, which I'm not consistent with at all. Just because movie reactions take longer to edit because they are longer. Perfect Blue. That's a really good movie that I need to rewatch at some point. I watched it for not Valentine's Day, Halloween, a couple of years ago. That was fun. Kind of spooky. Of course, got a fuck ton of Dragon Ball movies. Those are all pretty good movies. You could have done way worse. There's of course the Ava rebuilds, Ava movies, try again movie. The fuck is? Oh, it's something I haven't watched yet. Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Steins Gate movie as well. Day Alive, blah blah blah. I'm looking at Silent Voice, Your Name. I'm trying to look for more like one-off movies. I watched I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Nisekoi. Nisekoi has been a title that's thrown around for me for a while, and haven't ever committed to watching it, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I don't know. Pretend I didn't see it. But yeah, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. That was an emotional experience. Happy Valentine's Day, though. It was the perfect time to watch that. Yeah, I've mainly watched a lot of movies that have been attached to established things. Oh yeah, this fucking movie. That for some reason is like one of the most viewed things on my channel was my reaction to this movie. Sing a Bit of Harmony. To be fair, the movie wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty decent movie. You know, I just... I don't know. I thought it was going to be one thing. Turned out to be another. That's my own fault, but... Classic cliche pileup. Alright. Fair enough. I won't bother then. Or will I? But Sing a Bit of Harmony, it was just good. It was just like, I thought it was going to be more of like an anime musical, which to be fair, it kind of was. You know, the songs in it were really good. It has one song that I keep listening to. But, you know, it's a cute story. Very Disney movie-esque, which I guess is kind of an insult nowadays. Jujutsu Kaisen 0, yeah. Blue Giant was alright. I was kind of forced to see it because my friend wanted to see it, and I was like, alright, sure. But good music, but eh. Suzume was pretty good. Science Phil loves I tried to move it. Yeah. I haven't watched season 2 of that yet. I mean, I started watching it, and then I started watching something else, I think, and I just never came back to it. I need to, but season 1 was pretty good from what I remember. I liked it. I like that idea. I mean, just great concept, you know, just trying to scientifically prove love or just make love happen. You know, it's cute. Any of that kind of stuff, just like the spin on the romance genre. I like it. Yeah, Suzume was alright. I need to rewatch it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit confusing. I liked it, though. You know, visually, obviously, it was stunning. It's a movie, but... You know. It's almost like it's made in Japan. I meant to do a review of this when I saw it, but I just never did because I forgot. But it was all right, you know. Easy 7. 7's kind of harsh. I'd say more 8, but yeah. Love is War, First Kiss Never Ends. I saw that on Valentine's Day when it came out with my boys. That was a loving experience. There's a video of that as well. It's gotta go back to the fucking romance anime playlist. It's this video. First bit of it's actually really funny, just because it's us at like Wingstop just doing stuff. Yeah, it's a Makoto Shinkai, which, yeah. at the very least, it's stunning, and it's gonna be sort of a tearjerker. But you know, for me being as stone-faced as I was, yeah, I know. Makoto Shinkai, he does his thing. Is that all the movies I've seen? Damn. Okay, I thought I've seen more than that. Yeah, I haven't really seen too many, like, anime films, really. Or, oh, I passed it a while ago. I meant to talk about it. Where was it? Somewhere in here. Just because, I don't know. I'm more for the shorter form content, even though it ends up being, like, the same length as movies anyway. This, To Every You I've Loved Before, and To Me, the One Who You Loved You. This caught my radar just when I was browsing Crunchyroll, just because, like, they looked so similar, and I was like, oh. So, basically with these, it's two movies, but it's telling two different perspectives, basically. It's kind of time travel. It deals with that as well. It's kind of Steins Gate-y, but, you know, not as, like, sci-fi. But, you know, it's a heavy emphasis on romance. It's kind of like a route kind of thing where it's like one movie's about him with one girl and one movie's about him with another. But they both tie together, though. I definitely like this one, the To Every You I've Loved Before, more than the To Me, the One Who Loved You. Just because I liked the girl in this one more than the other one. But it's an interesting idea. I like just the idea. I doubt it. I don't know how it worked in theaters. I doubt it went in theaters, but yeah, just straight to Crunchyroll. But yeah, it's like just this whole thing about like parallel worlds and stuff, just like traveling between them. But it's an interesting idea. I liked it for what it was. Not, but excuse me. Shauna. Fucking copy paste. No, stop fucking opening that. Yeah. Shauna, I assume this. 2006, yeah. I can't say I'm familiar. Yeah. I mean, again, like, you recommended me, like, older stuff. It's like, I don't care. Like, this shit could have come out in, like, forever ago. Like, I'll enjoy it. Story's a story. Can be good. My fucking favorite show of all time, one of my favorite shows of all time, is Dragon Ball Z. Shit came out in the 80s, dog. 3 seasons. The world has become a slaughtering ground for crimson denizens, alright. Mysterious beings. The merciless murderers only leave behind scant remainders of souls called torches, which are mere residues that will eventually be destroyed, along with the fact of the victim's existence from the minds of the living, in an ambitious endeavor. An ambitious endeavor to put an end to the invisible hunger massacre, warriors called Flame Hazes relentlessly fight these monsters. Interesting. Dragon Ball's a different level. Well, yeah. Interesting. Keep it on the list. No, why does it go to watch by default? Plan to watch. There we go. The world God only knows. Ah, Ruben, now you're speaking my language. The world God only knows. That's a show that I keep forgetting about. But I love that show. Damn it. Kami. So can't search English titles for whatever reason. Had very trackable fights, yeah. But yeah, I got World God only knows. If you love Data Live, you should watch this. It is it's very similar. I hate how the anime handled its third season. I'll still never get over that. But the manga, I mean, you pick up with the manga, honestly. I talked about it in my review of it. That honestly, watch the first 2 seasons and honestly just go into the manga after that, because I did the thing which is like, you watch the first 2 seasons, you read some of the manga, you watch season 3, and then you read the rest of the manga, which you can do. It's fine. Like, season 3 is still really good. The world of God, miso shuru. But it's just conceptual. I love just seeing the character of Keima grow, you know? It's not that season 3's not worth it, it's just because they skip so much of the manga that you won't even know what's happening in the story. Like, it doesn't even... It's such a disrespect. The LPs are really good. Because it's such a disrespect. Because the first episode of season 3 opens, it's just like, yeah. Well, because season 2 ends, and it's just like, oh, here's like all the girls that we gotta go and, you know, save and whatever. And season 3 had the gall to be like, so that happened. Now we're here. It's like, why, man? Why? Because it skips some of like the best stories that are in the manga. And I'll never get it. I'll never understand it. Like, I'm like, because it kind of does some stories that like it ties back to some of the other characters that were introduced early on, but it's just like, just don't do it then. They want to rush through stuff, yeah. But this is like the worst case scenario. I mean, yeah, sure, some parts of Data Live, but I mean, at least with Data Live, it's not egregiously where it's like with this, where it skips so many integral story beats. Like, there's a whole character who's introduced, who's like the crux of everything that goes forward throughout the remainder of the story. And when you go from season 2 to season 3, that character's just there in season 3. And it's just like, oh yeah, hey Tenri, how you doing? Yeah, so that thing happened. It's like, it doesn't even try to even attempt to make you understand. So it's just, it's sad because this show is really good, honestly. It's like, it's gotten better the more I've stewed on and thought about it. The manga does get really insane though, like by the very end, but if you stick with it, if you commit to it, I mean, sure, but like, it wasn't though. If they were scared of a repetitive formula, they wouldn't have adapted it. Because, to be fair, because I mean, that is the thing with this show, is like, there are certain character arcs and stuff you can skip, but it's just, it's building towards the bigger narrative. But I don't know, it's such a disrespect. Because it would be one thing if they skipped the arcs and it didn't really impact anything. It's integral story. The story changes so much because certain story beats and powers and characters get introduced that change the story and how they go about doing things. And season 3 just assumes that you know what that means. But so, because it's not just that they skipped a couple chapters. I think they skip about 80 chapters of the manga. Or like some egregious amount. So it's not just like they skipped like maybe 10 or so chapters. It's a lot. So yeah, if you like watch the first 2 seasons and honestly just read the manga at that point. Season 3 I wouldn't say is worth it. Like you can find a guide somewhere that'll tell you just like, oh, watch or like read up to this point and then watch season 3, in which case sure. But yeah. I mean, yes, but what I've liked more about this show is that it actually takes at least some time to develop those characters, even if their arcs are shorter. Where it's not just that like, oh, this is the tsundere character, or this is like the kudere character, this is just like the teacher or whatever. It's like they are that as like a foundation, but then like there's another side to their character. It's like they want, like that's the whole point of this show, is like the whole reason they are possessed by these spirits is because like they, you know, they have like some desire or just or just like some want that they have, and it's just the spirit leeches onto that, and it's Kama's thing to sort of bring it out of them, which in this case it's through the dating, through, you know, them, you know, similar to Date Alive in that sense, but this one's more grounded. But I don't know, I'm probably one of the few who are very passionate about this show, but I really enjoy it. I don't know, a lot of that may be because of how I also like Date Alive structure, but I don't know. It's just, again, if you're gonna go about it, watch the first 2 seasons, read the manga. Because it's not that jarring of a change. Like, the manga style is a little in places, but, like, you know, it's not an egregious shift. It's not like Demon Slayer. But skip that yeah, I'll never get it. I'll never get it. Like, I would rather them have just not made season 3, honestly. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, because it's not even called season 3. It's The World God Only Knows Goddesses, which at that point is just like, what? The Kokoro Connect, that is familiar. I definitely haven't watched it. I know the title though. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is the show I keep fucking confusing with K-On! Because the styles are similar. A season 3 remake. Well, they would have to do season 2.5 first, and then but the show is a famous meme. Which meme? I don't want to... Which meme? Tell me. Or I'll just look up Kokoro Connect meme. Oh god, I forgot I was so zoomed in. There we go. Oh, it's this. It's this. Okay. It's totally different. I can't tell something. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen this recently, actually, for the first time. So this has been on my radar for this at the very least. Oh my god, what is this? Perfectly balanced. Confessions in most anime. Yeah. Is that actually like what happens? All right, cool. Well, because I've seen the scene as well, like out of context, so I am very curious, if for nothing else, about that. But I'm not gonna look at too much else for that. But yeah, let's see. I'll put it on the list right now. That's a real line. Dope. It's not on fucking Crunchyroll, whatever. They said that in the anime together, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Cool. I'm something different, you know? Something more open. I'm all about open relationships, you know? Let's be real with each other. Let's be honest. Damn, you catching my boy live. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to the chaos. It's been something. This has been the most talkative I've been on stream, I think, which I love. You know, we're mainly just going through anime recommendations. You know, HH has been trying to hit me with stuff that either I have or have not seen, you know. Let's be genuine. Yes, that is the truth. Have you seen Shin Sekai Yori? Let's see if I have. I don't know it just based off of that. This looks familiar. I've watched before. Yeah, yeah. You know, just the interesting thing. I've definitely have seen at least this poster. Millennium Later, Kamisu 66. Drama, fantasy, horror? Elaborate. Why is it horror? Horror, mystery, sci-fi, suspense, that is all things I love. The heck? It's 25 episodes. From the New World. Let's see if it's on the old Crunchyroll. New. Damn it! There's other sites I have that I can look at, so it's fine. I'll watch it somewhere. The intelligent, observant, and the timid. She comes across creatures known as monster rats. What is the show? As a result, when Saki uses her abilities to save one from trouble, she is met with exceptional gratitude. Now unsure about the monster rats' place in society, Saki and her friends find out about another disappearance. As time passes, they slowly look for answers to the mysteries that surround them and begin to realize that this seemingly perfect new world masks humanity's dark past. What the fuck is this show? Why am I interested already? 8 out of 10 on Mal. All right, sounds interesting. I hope it's not one of those ones where it's a really good start and it doesn't stick the landing. But we may have to react to this. I'm interested. At the very least, I'll put it on a poll. The heck? Came out in 2012. A1. I don't know. I gotta stop doing that meme. I always used to shit on A1, but I love him. The ending's pretty good. All right. I don't need more than that. I need to at least know that it sticks the landing. Because if the ending's bad, then I don't know. I guess that's for me to decide. Go to the rest of the team. Thank you for the conversations, my man. It has been an absolute pleasure. Until next time. Anyone, so yeah, I know. I had a weird thing back in the day when I used to make videos that I would just shit on A1 for really no reason. It's because I watched like one show that I didn't like and I was just like, A1 sucks, which is no reason to make that. No reason to say that. So, because yeah, if we look at A1's freaking thing, it's like, yeah, Makine is a really good show. Yeah, Love is War, like, you know, they make good shit. 86. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of 86, but yeah. Yeah, Wodakoi, it's like, they make good stuff. They make good stuff. I just, you know. I just kind of make fun of myself for that, for no reason. Just completely just unprovoked hate. But I love going through my list all the time. I've watched some of the weirdest shit. Not only has this been the most talkative stream, it's also been the longest stream I've done. Well, that just goes to show. When the conversation's going, I don't want it to end. Even though I probably should eventually. You know, it is the weekend, so I'm good to chill. Is actually under Sony. The hate is once again justified. But nah. They make good stuff. They've, like, every show I've watched from them lately has been a good show. But I'm just... It's just a meme I keep bringing up with myself. Because, yeah, if you go back to my older videos, I just, yeah. Purchasing Katakawa, yeah. I mean, stuff like that's probably going to happen eventually. You know, anime is so mainstream now, you know? Of course, they're going to get their mitts on it. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, honestly. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, just as long as there's still those good diamond in the rough shows, you know. Because if every show is good, then none of them are. It's not necessarily the truth, but, you know. You sometimes need the bad to balance out the good. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about, like, some of the shows I've been watching lately on the channel. You know, instead of stuff that I've just watched in general, just to, you know, make more of this connection. We have a trash these guys every season. Well, yeah. That's just a given at this point. But, yeah. I want to talk about some of the shows I've been watching lately. Terror and Resonance came to an end. Let's not click the video. Yeah, Terror and Resonance, the series came to an end today, actually. And, well, it wasn't the best performing series on my channel. It did fairly better than I thought. Isekai, I wonder what the next huge genre would be. I don't know. I mean, kind of every genre is kind of already defined, I feel like. I mean, but I guess in terms of, like, what's going to be the next, like, big boom, I mean, I feel like stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer have done wonders for the shonen genre. But, I mean, shonen's already been big because of, like, One Piece and stuff. But, I mean, more mainstream, I guess you could say, for better or for worse. But I would like if romance got a little more love, but I get that. I mean, Love is War is pretty big. I just wish that more of those shows would become a little more popular. But I don't know. Shonen, yeah, that's, yeah. Like shonen, like there will never be a shortage of shonen, but I mean, in terms of good shonen, debatable. I don't know. I don't really see there being like a next big thing. I just feel like each genre is going to have like that one show that maybe just gets people more interested in the genre. But I don't know. Like, physically, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's still romance anime that gets shit out every season, which, you know, Some are better than others, and I feel like some people judge certain ones too harshly, but that's why a good chunk of, like, when I do my binge caps at the end of the season, it's like a lot of them end up being romance ones, just because, I mean, that's kind of the stuff I'm attracted to, more or less, but just because that's where it can be, like, some of the most, like, heart-wrenching real stories and stuff like that, but, you know, I'm sort of just forever chasing that fruits basket high, but, you know, a lot of times it's shit, but I don't mind it, just as long as it gives me something. When Alia-san got complained, I mean, that show has become one of my favorites ever. I mean, not ever, but I mean, one of my favorite romances, definitely. I mean, what did it get complained about specifically, though? Like, just the fact that it's a well-animated show, or just, like, probably some of the stuff in it? Because I thought it was, like, a fucking phenomenal show. Phenomenal first season. It's a show I fucking have rewatched it like 3 or 4 different times now. People thought the plot was too boring. That's such a... More and more nowadays, I hate the descriptor of something being boring, because it's just like, that doesn't give me anything. Also, most of it should... Sure. Like, honestly, that was kind of my thing with the show as well, is that, like, the show is called Alia Tries to Hide Her Feelings in Russian, but, like, the side characters are, like... But that's kind of the beauty of it that I like, especially since I've caught up to the manga version of it, which the manga isn't caught up, which I know the manga is, like, being made differently, but the manga isn't caught up to the anime, but... I kind of like that, because, like, Alia is sort of experiencing the worlds of, like, this school that, you know, she's trying to become this person who, like, everybody can look at. It's what Kuze's trying to do for her. You know, so that she's not alone and all that, but, you know, yeah, I would read the light novel, but, you know, visuals. My train of thought. Yeah, like, it's not like, I'm not saying they're better characters. I just think, like, I think where a lot of things is they're more entertaining than Alia, but, you know, some of my favorite moments in the show are Alia and Kuze stuff. Because, you know, she's the title fucking character. But again, what I was trying to get at is, like, it's such, like, an elitist feeling world, like, this school, but it's literally just, like, sink or swim. And it's a cool, like, kind of underdog thing where it's like, oh yeah, she's like this beauty and, like, people look at her, but it's like, I feel like she has such a mountain to climb, just because, like, there's so many people with such a reputation that she has to overcome and sort of establish for herself. And is it as deep as I'm making it? Probably not. But through, like, recently reading the manga again, it's you know, I like it. I like the story. It's really good, honestly. It's not just, like, a cookie cutter romance. Like, it has its ecchi sides to it, sure, but it's not, like, all over the place. It's not that constantly, which I feel like a lot of people kind of just want that, which, whatever. There's shows like that exist. But I'm much more here for this kind of romance, honestly. And I really do love Kuze and Alia's romance in the story. It's, you know, it's one where it's like they're both, like, not really accepting it yet, and it's like they're kind of just like, once they get to their goal, then maybe they can think about it. But it's kind of just like, I don't like. They're both not unsure if they can really go for that yet, even though they both clearly want it. They want it so badly, but you know, we'll get there eventually. Gotta rope you along. But I don't know. Didn't think I'd go on a tangent about that show. I mean, it's good. I'm probably gonna watch it again now. This is how you know I've been talking for a bit. My voice is getting deeper. God damn, it's almost 10 o'clock for me. Gotta start wrapping things out soon, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I feel bad for Muliguino because I know he just like got in here, but you know. I'm getting eeped. I'm getting eeped. But yeah, I mean, rewatch. Yeah, that was like people did tell me it was just like there's like that whole season of anime was stuff that I should have watched, like the fucking deer anime as well. I probably should have, but to be fair, when that show was coming out, like when I first like was binging it, like I had COVID at the time, so I wasn't really like super energetic and all that. And that was like when I was at the start of Attack on Titan as well. But that probably would have been fun to do, but I don't know. In my mind, I didn't feel like I would have had enough to really talk about or do anything with. Shikanoko was so good. Was it though? That was my thing. It's just like Shikanoko might have been fun to watch for the channel, but I don't know. There was like a halfway point with the show where I was just like, God, it was it though. Like Bocchi the Rock was fun and hilarious because of its editing, and its editing, its voice acting, all that. Shikanoko, I feel like, was trying to be this funny, weirdly comedically timed show from the get-go, and like the story was never something I cared about. It was just like, what antics are we getting up to this week? Which is perfectly fine for a show like that. I completely get it. Just for me, what I liked with Bocchi the Rock was that there was at least a goal in mind. Form a band, perform, make music, have fun, break our shell. With Shikanoko, I feel like there was no goal. It was just like, make this deer club, eat deer crackers, OPED goodbye. Like, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. There's some good recommendations for me. I'll keep an eye on. I appreciate the chat. I'll end up wrapping things out too. But have a good night. A show where you could turn off your brain for 20 minutes. I mean, it definitely was. But it was like my brain was so turned off to the point where, like, I couldn't even tell you what had happened in the past 20 minutes. It was the pure definition of brain rot. Which me from like a couple years ago probably would have appreciated much more, but me nowadays I was just like, I need just a little bit of something to latch onto. But you know, I'm glad I did not commit to doing videos on it, because I think I would have come to the same conclusion. But you know, at the very least, that OP will be a fucking parasite in my mind forever. God. Spare me. But yeah, there is some. I need to start watching some of the new shows that have come out this season, though, just because I need to get ready for the binge cap in a couple weeks. The first binge cap of the year, my winter 2025 binge cap. Which, yeah, I just closed my mouth. whatever. Which I have a couple things. Hold on. Status, descend. No. Yeah. It's like obviously the second part of ReZero Season 3, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun 2, which there's a couple other stuff I need to watch for that still. This show, which just looks interesting because of the art. Second season of My Happy Marriage. I completely forgot this came out. I haven't been seeing anything about that. Daima, I don't think I'll talk about Daima. Second season of 100 Girlfriends. It's been fire. I've been watching that week to week. This show looks kind of interesting. Honey Lemon Soda. I got an email from Crunchyroll today being like, you should watch this show. If you haven't already, I'm like, okay. This Zenshu show by Mappa, which is like the most meta thing. About like, oh yeah, an overworked manga artist. But then it's like that she gets isekai'd into it, whatever. Second season of Apothecary Diaries, which I probably won't cover this season because I'm waiting for all of it to be done. Just because I just want to binge it all. I probably won't watch this show. Sakamoto Days. I was tempted to watch this week to week just because it's kind of popular right now, but I don't know. It's been too long now. It's only gonna be 11? Bro, this shit's getting shorter and shorter. Of course, I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. This looks very interesting because I love romance. And I have a crush where this is just hentai. But yeah. Some interesting stuff that'll be coming out this season that I will definitely partake in. But yes. Oh man, yeah, honestly, I think we are going to call it for the night because it is getting pretty late. I mean, not pretty late, it's only about 10. But I am pretty eeped for the day. Thank you to everyone this was a very productive stream. This is a very interesting stream. This is exactly what I wanted to do. Because my streams are never planned. I sort of am just like, well, I'll go live. Sure, maybe we'll have a conversation or two. But this was really fun. Sorry, Miliguino. I know you just sort of came in, but we've been going for a while. 3.5 hours, the longest stream I've ever done. And this is what happens. This is literally what I live for, man, is being able to talk about anime like this. And yeah, I've had some great conversations. HH and Ruben. That was fun stuff. My initial thing was like I was gonna go live on Twitch and listen to music. But Juiced, you just showed up right as we're about to leave, dog. I'm so sorry. We're just about to call it for the night, but it's okay. You can watch back the VOD if you want. It'll be on YouTube. But I mean, we'll take our time wrapping out here. Any last couple things we want to talk about, but I'm on the verge of falling asleep though. It's getting. You had to be here, man. You had to be here. Been going for a while, but yeah. This is a fun VOD to rewatch back though. Watch it from Australia. Hey, I appreciate it. It's probably late as hell. It's fucking probably tomorrow. It is tomorrow when you're seeing this. God damn. Sorry, but it is today for me, and I need to go into tomorrow. But this is a good VOD to rewatch back, definitely. There's a lot of good conversations. Basically, a one-man podcast. Speaking of podcasts, though, I should have talked about this way sooner, but there will be a first episode of a podcast with my friends that will be coming out at some point later this week. It is going to be the most consistently inconsistent podcast of your life, but at the very least, is a first episode. And the name of it is really funny. So, it was more my friend's idea, but, it was still really fun. I've always wanted to do a podcast with them, some good conversations, but I would love to get some of my other friends who are more anime oriented on that podcast, so that way we could have stuff like this and maybe live stream it as well. But yeah, that'll be fun. I think that'll be coming out around Thursday, some point this week. I could check, but I'm too lazy. But yeah, that'll be a thing. But yeah, because again, yeah, with this one, this was a fun time. Again, this is what I live for, is just because, you know, my videos, you know, it's always just like we have the conversations and we talk, but it's more just one-sided. It's like I say them and then like days or weeks later there's comments where the conversation continues. But you know, it's being live, being able to talk with you guys. I live for this. One day we'll have even more people here and I'll never be able to keep track of a singular conversation. But you know, we recently crossed 9.3k subscribers. I definitely foresee in the next couple of weeks we'll be at 10k. So it's gonna be awesome. My god, you know, I take it for granted, honestly, at this point. You know, it's just so much growth. A lot of that is in due part to the Star Wars shorts I've been uploading. You know, the anime content that I kind of post is kind of sinking, but you know, that's the stuff I'm passionate about, man. That's the stuff I'm really having fun with. The shorts are just so I have, you know, some relevancy. But just try to be consistent. I upload daily, Doc. I upload daily. I try to be as consistent as possible. I sometimes upload twice a day. I upload a short as well. I do the best I can. It's just, you know, I want to upload what I want to upload, which a lot of the time the algorithm doesn't like, which, you know, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it like every other YouTuber who's losing relevancy because of the algorithm. Because I'm still a newborn fawn in this. I mean, not really. I have been doing this for quite a while. 2 years at this point, going on 3. But it's only been in recent times that I have, you know, tried to pursue it more consistently. But yeah, I am truly yapping about anything at this point. You know, I'm just trying to give, you know, for Juiced here, who just joined right as I was about to leave, but you know, this was a good stream. It's been the best stream I've had yet. But I forgot this started with me playing solitaire, and me and Ruben were just talking, and then yeah, people joined. But overall, yeah, I'm getting really tired. I need to go to sleep. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. This has been really fun. Best YouTube yapper. I appreciate it. I'm a professional yapper, just like a priest. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it. I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna go memes. And yeah, join me for many other of the sort. I definitely want to do more streams in the future, especially if they're going to be like this. Do more gaming streams as well, because I did my Attack on Titan stream earlier this week. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me for this. I'm Lancer. Thanks for watching, my friends.